Mm. Hey, Tara. I am actually going to send you all the documents via email.
Good morning.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Very good. I'm going to send everybody the documents via email.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. We got Brian here. Brian, I'm going to send everyone the documents via email as soon as the class starts. Amber sent you on the way.
Okay. Is it the workbook for the most part? Yeah. Same
Yep.
as last week.
Yes.
So they closed everything down again, huh?
Yeah, I know. Give me a second.
If I got time, I'm gonna go get another coffee. I'll be back.
Yeah, no worries. You're good. Mm. Perfect. Hey, Amber.
Hi, Jennifer.
How are you?
So funny to see you in like street clothes.
I know. It's my life. So far, I got 3 people who are going to be on Zoom, and then I'm expecting still like 2 or 3 more people to come in person.
I don't like Zoom because I can't feel vibes.
You can't feel the vibes. They've actually been really good at it.
Okay, vibe loud, guys.
I'll push it closer. Hi, Melanie.
How are you?
I'll get you set up.
Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? I'm doing well, not too bad.
If you're your participant guide for Rich here.
Oh, thank you. I got some candy. I couldn't help myself.
You were good.
I couldn't help myself. Oh yeah, bowl. I'm doing bowl.
Really?
Yeah, my Market Center in Georgia,
Mhm.
they had 3 left over. They were given sponsors of scholarships or whatever.
And then you got one of them.
And because I wasn't gonna do it, and then they're like, we got 3 left over. And I said, well, shoot, if nobody else wants one, I'll take it. I said, but you know, I'd much prefer for it to go to a new agent or someone that's never taken bowl before.
Right.
But I was like, but hey, if you got one left over and it's just sitting there, I'll take it. So
No, that's really
next
good.
thing I get this email, it's been good.
That's
It's really good. It's really good.
Oh,
It's
for
good.
sure.
I love bowl anyway, but it's good. I like it. It's good. Well, are you taking it? No?
Not
Well,
this time.
okay.
I mean, I've done both 4 times.
Yeah,
so
me
I'm
too.
just
I'm
taking a little
Yeah.
break.
Let's see. 1, 2, I'm 3 times bowl.
I just can't be on any more Zooms right now.
Oh, I know. My husband
Just
already.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
You go.
I just need to chat with him real fast.
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
Do they need to each get something from here?
I already got it all set up in like these little packets. I
So
just
they
give
just
to
grab
them.
that.
Yeah, you don't have to use all the sheets here. I just give it just in case you needed it. I went through the Ignite toolkit. I'm like, maybe she might use this, this, and this. Okay, but I figure I know you go through and flow, so that's why. You're
I'm
good.
like, oh, just-
No, not at all.
Okay.
Do it how you do it.
Okay.
Do it the Amber way.
Okay. All right. I am gonna think this is good.
And then the financial basics is really.
I'm really just gonna touch about
Yeah.
monthly classes. I'm
Exactly.
not gonna do too much with that.
Exactly.
So
You're
they've got
perfect.
this, they can go through it. It's
Absolutely.
okay.
Oh, so you're the teacher? You're
Yes,
Amber?
yes,
I'm Melanie.
yes, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
If there's anyone else on here. Perfect.
Yeah, so I figured, my husband, he always,
Yes.
he's like, "No,
Documents, can you email them to me?
Yes, I'm gonna email everybody the documents in a second. I'm just gonna make sure no one else is gonna pop on here.
They can't
I
do
think
Of course.
They can. I said, oh, yeah, I said, I've learned a lot.
It is.
And, you know, I love podcasts. I love listening to
Mhm.
what other agents do. Do I
Yeah.
implement everything? Not everything, but if I could even just get a little something, you know?
Yeah,
little
well, you
nugget,
can't implement everything.
No, you
Good.
can't.
And that's not what you should. do.
No, you shouldn't, no,
Because we all have our own styles,
Right, that's right. Yes, we do. So,
Okay, who do we have online? We've got, I see it named Tara,
We got Tara, we got Brian, and we got Robin Koniski.
Ryan, and Robin. Okay.
They can
Hi,
hang out
guys.
right there.
Good morning.
Hi.
Can we make them bigger
Yes, absolutely.
so I can see like, I don't need to see me. I saw it.
your hair looks good.
Oh gosh, I'm like on day 6,
No,
so
it
it
looks
needs to be
great.
washed, but
I'm-
thanks.
I'm getting mine cut tomorrow and I cannot wait.
Here we go.
I haven't had it cut in months.
We got all of them right there for
I
you.
just feel like I needed to be close to Jesus, so I just did my hair.
It looks good,
I like
Good
it.
Today.
It looks good.
All right.
And then we might have two that stumble in, so.
Yeah,
Well, you know realtors, we usually stumble in places or
Yeah.
stumble out, so.
yeah, that's right.
Because
There's come a lot.
all right, so for my Zoomers, just, you know, shout out if you have a question or want me to stop, okay?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, what was your name?
Dolan.
Dolan. Okay, I'm Amber, nice to meet you.
Having problems with a DocuSign thing.
If you need anything else, just text me.
Okay, all right, we're all good, thank you. All right, you guys, well, good morning. We're
Good
gonna get
morning.
started. Is this your last Ignite? Is this the last one?
I think it's the last one, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Awesome.
last one. Mhm.
And has everyone here done all of them?
Yes,
Okay.
we've done, yeah.
Cool, very good.
Both
All
of us
right.
have, yeah.
Very
Yes, I am.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, I'm just gonna start. I'll tell you a little bit about me. My name is Amber, so I've been with our Market Center, and I've been with Keller Williams and in real estate. In May will be my year 7. So I've always been in sales, and I started this when I moved here from Tennessee because I just wanted to give something new a try. And it's been a great journey. My first year, I sold a whopping 2 houses, so I just really thought I was awesome. But I loved it. I loved what I was doing. And so from that time, from year 2, I doubled that to, well, not doubled it. That would not be good. I did 12, and the next year I did 17. The third year I did 40. And then that 5th year, I became the productivity coach in our office for all new agents. And so then I kind of went backwards a little bit, but really focused on growing our new agents. And now I actually run an expansion team here. So I run a team here. And I will tell you that real estate's been a really great journey. 5 of my almost 7 years have made 6 figures. And I say that to you not to toot any horns, but just to tell you, if you really work this business, you can really create a lifestyle that you want. I have balance. I don't have a boss, and I love that. But I will say this, that some of us do need a boss because we don't do what we're supposed to do. And we think, oh, I've got all this freedom and flexibility. And if you treat this like a hobby, it will produce like a hobby. And what do hobbies do? They cost you money, and real estate will cost you money. So I just am saying all of that to just let you know that this can be a very viable career for you, but you have to treat it like a career. Once you have 1 or 2 closings under your belt, that is not the time to start coasting. That is the time to really start ramping up and not take any breaks. So hopefully Ignite has helped you a little bit with that. I am an open book about way too many things. So if you have any questions or need help with your business, you can always reach out to me. My card is in the front, and I'd love to help you. So my teaching style is not to sit here and go through this book with you. You will also be out before the allotted time. I'm surprised they still let me teach, but I do know a little something, I guess. But I feel like you learn from experiences and things like that before. If any of you were sons of Bob and got your license with Bob Fritz, he tells lots of stories, and the whole time he was teaching me, I thought, what the heck is this man doing? Like, he is a train wreck. But guess what? I learned, and so I'm a train wreck for you, and you will learn too, hopefully. So get your participants guide out. We're very gonna loosely go through it. Please feel free to stop me and ask any questions. This is one of my favorite things that we're going to talk about, and that is negotiating the deal. My other favorite thing to talk about is money. And we're going to talk about money today and running this like a business. I teach a class called Take It to the Bank. When you see it on the calendar, I really recommend that you attend it. So and I'm going to touch on it. Take it to the bank. I'll do it in November.
Okay.
I'm going to touch on it really loosely today. Here's the beauty of realtors is they make some big money and they spend big money, and then they're broke. And they can't pay their office bills. They can't pay their MLS bills. I'm amazed at the realtors that I know that are behind on their taxes. It's shocking to me. So I am very passionate, and I wish we could spend the whole 3 hours actually talking about that. Hi, good morning. But we can't. So I really recommend you finding that in the calendar and booking that. Because I want to teach you how to make money, but also to keep money and function like a business owner, not just someone who gets paid once or twice a year some big checks, and then you go rob Peter to pay Paul to pay your taxes and things like that. So we're going to touch on that too. Okay, right? You guys have heard these horror stories, right? If you've been in the industry at all, realtors are notorious for so many things. So we are trying to change that legacy. Okay, so right now we're going to talk about negotiating contracts, okay? Let me just kind of know where you're at. So Tara, I can't see your beautiful face, but tell me, how long have you been in real estate, and where are you at with that?
I've been in real estate since June, and been going to a lot of the trainings and everything. Did an open house, been just, doing the regular stuff. I guess that's all.
Okay, that's fine. So since June, I'm here to give you hope. It's okay. We got 2 more months. You got this, okay? I only closed deals my first year or 2, so don't worry. I think education is so important, you guys. You've got to learn. That's why you're at Keller, is to get the education. But don't let that trick you into feeling like you're doing real estate by just doing classes and classes and classes. We got to put it into practice. Now, the beautiful COVID has thrown a wrench in a lot of our open houses and activities, so I do get that as well, but that's okay. Okay, nice to meet you, Tara, and Robin.
Yes, I've been with Keller since January. My husband started a year before, Paul Kineski. And So we're a husband-wife team, working with some buyers right now.
Awesome. Okay. Very good. All right. I love your hubby. Awesome. And you've got some really talented children, so you're doing a good job, Mama. All right. Okay. And who do you have?
It's a Brian.
Brian. Yes.
Brian. Sorry, yeah, my name's not big. I met you at the new agent
Yes.
in like orientation.
Uh-huh. Yep. I remember.
Yeah, so I'm new since September, and you know, this is my second Ignite class.
Okay.
So I'm just, you know, got one more class next week, I think. I
Awesome.
looked at my calendar. So yeah,
What did you do before real estate again, Brian?
it's a mental health,
Yes.
mental counseling and therapy.
Okay, you're gonna fit in great here. We all need mental therapy. Okay, perfect.
I leave work at work, okay?
Okay, all right. Okay, awesome. Well, good to have you, Brian. All right,
Yep.
Melanie.
Well, I've been in real estate since 2011, but I've been licensed in Georgia. I just got my license here this year,
Okay,
at the beginning of the year. I think I got it in February.
okay.
And one of the reasons I got my license here as well is because we bought a house here in 2013,
Mhm.
Almond by the Sea, a little house, and we decided we wanted to move here full time.
Okay,
So of course I got my license, and I'm with a Keller Williams there as well.
Okay.
When I first started off here, I wasn't. I chose a brokerage that was close to my house because I thought Port Orange was a little far for me. But then when y'all opened up the Keller Williams office in Almond by the Sea, I decided that I definitely want to
good.
take that. And even, you know, I should have, you know, Colleen, because I spoke to Colleen early this year, and like she had said, you should have just chose Keller Williams anyway.
Well, we
So,
all got those shoulda, woulda, couldas.
but yeah, but I tell you what, there's just nothing like Keller Williams after, especially after being with the, you know, with the other brokerage and other ones. There's just nothing. I'm just a Keller Williams girl.
Good, good. You like our Kool-Aid.
Yes,
We
I
do
like
too.
your, yes. So that's my story.
Awesome. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Very good. All right. And you?
So I've been with Keller Williams about a month,
Okay.
so I'm pretty new.
Yeah.
I'm from New York, moved down here about 6 months ago. Just changing up the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just a little
Decided to
bit
get
more
real
chill.
estate, so
Awesome. What'd you do before real estate?
I was a manager of a deli.
Okay. Great. So people, working with people and all that.
Yep.
Okay. Very good. Perfect. All right.
And my name is Siham. Sorry, what was your name?
I'm Amber.
Amber.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Siham.
meet you.
Yeah.
So I worked in timeshare,
Okay.
and when I used to work in timeshare, I did really well. But what I noticed a lot, which I didn't say before, but really a lot of my clients used to tell me, "Do you have a business card? Do you sell homes?" And I wasn't selling homes, so
Yeah.
that was a huge market. I didn't have anybody to refer to,
Yeah.
which I never really thought of it.
Yeah.
But so, and after a while, you know, a lot of people used to tell me, if you are in real estate, you know, I wish you were in real estate.
Yeah.
And that was my goal. And then the COVID came in, and then I was pushed towards real estate. And
Yeah.
That's my real, actually. So
Yeah.
I transited into real estate. But it's so different than timeshare, because we're used to transaction. They get you the leads. It's like we're lazy, but we work hard.
Yeah.
So you have your 3 hours to get your deal done, and you're done. You
Yeah.
take your commission.
Yeah.
Versus here, you have to, you know, work
Cultivate.
for everything.
Yep.
You can cultivate for everything.
Yeah.
So I joined the brokerage company in mid-July, and it was so hard because there was no direction. I was really on. They told me you're gonna be on your own.
Yeah.
I didn't believe that I would be really on my own.
Yeah.
And then my husband got sick, so he was on a coma and all the horrible things we hear. So I had to just shut down everything. And then now that he was feeling better, you know, I met a few people from Keller Williams that referred me here.
Good.
And I found out about the training, that there was another whole world.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know,
Yeah.
it's just, you know, it's training and this, because I cannot do it really on my own.
No, and
Impossible.
it's very hard to do it on your own. And trust me, as you're doing more deals, you'll be able to see the agents that have not been taught. anything. And it really is night and day. So I'm glad that you found your way to us, definitely. So, all right, well, let's talk about negotiating contract. We're going to focus on this. As we know, negotiations can be a deal maker, a deal breaker. And that's really where you're going to put your feet to the fire in, is learning to negotiate. Because honestly, right now in this market, anyone can get a house under contract. So if you've got a buyer, you can get a house under contract if they can find one they like. Seller, pretty much there's no inventory. So sellers, their houses are going under contract like this. You don't have to really be an amazing agent. However, when it comes down to negotiating to get the best deal for your buyer or seller, that's where, you know, the proof is really in the pudding. So we're going to talk about the common points of negotiation. We're going to examine the 3 P's to negotiation. We're going to analyze counter tactics and just go over some success habits and things like that today. So negotiation, let me try to follow along too with how they do. I've taught Ignite for 4 years, and then they just changed Ignite this year, which I love.
Oh, this is good.
It is really important to stay up with the times. I am not mad about them changing everything I've learned and taught for 4 years. Just kidding, I am. No. Okay.
I'm just being nice, right?
Yep. So I'm just trying to see what they have. So right now, just follow along. I'll tell you when you need to look at a page, okay? All right. So negotiation is the bargaining process between 2 parties. I cannot stress enough to you, and this is just from experience, that when you are negotiating, to remember that the realtor on the other side of you is not your enemy. Oh, you're a lefty. Okay, sorry. Shiny ball. All right, me too. So the realtor on the other side is not your enemy. I get so fired up and I want to shake people when they are so combative with me when we are trying to get a deal closed. The point is that you want to get your buyer or seller closed and they want to get their buyer or seller closed. There is no reason why you should not be on the same team working together to get a deal closed. And you guys, you're going to come head to head with it every deal, because agents are special words sometimes. Yes. And they want to be Mr., you know, these agents on $1 million listing and be such hard noses. Well, guess what? We're in Daytona Beach, Florida. The point is to get the deal done, and you have to work with each other to do that. So that's why you want to learn to be cool, calm, collected, and to have really strong negotiating skills, so those people feel like they're a part of your team, that you are not going against them. So, you know, consider this. How can your ability to negotiate affect the outcome of the deal? I will tell you the honest truth. I have probably lost a deal or 2 as a newer agent because I was coming in very hard-nosed, trying to do the correct thing for my buyer, but honestly, maybe not really doing it the way that I should have, because I wanted to show my feathers and show, oh, I got this and I'll be hard. And guess what? The other agent took another deal. There's a time or 2 that stood out that I probably could have done a better job, but it's just because I didn't know any better. And I was still, you know, wet behind the ears with that. So what are some of the ways, start thinking about what are some of the ways that you negotiate in your everyday life? If you're married, guess what? Or have a significant other, you negotiate every day with that person. It might not look like negotiation, but do we trade one thing for the other with our spouses or partners or friends? Or, you know, we do, right? Children, I negotiate 500,000 times a day with my children, okay? We are negotiating with everything. Think about what are some of the skills. If you've ever left someone's space, right? And we hear the term, oh, they could sell ice to an Eskimo, right? When you leave that space, do you feel like you were sold to? No, right? You feel like they had amazing negotiation tactics to get you to purchase their product. You leave there feeling good, That is what a good negotiator. If you've ever purchased a car, okay, that's fun, right? But have you ever just left purchasing a car not feeling like they were a skeezy car salesman? That's a good negotiator, right? Someone that made you feel good about your purchase and that it was a win-win for you, not that they were selling to you. And I will say that to my kids all day long when they come to me and they've tried their negotiation. I'm like, don't sell to me. Explain to me why I need to let you do this or why I need to let you buy it. You really got to work on your negotiation tactics to make me on board with this. Do not try to sell to me. And it's the same thing that your buyers and sellers want. They don't want to be sold to. Nobody likes that. Okay. And then it gets down to asking questions. Why is asking questions important? Have you ever heard that quote, he who asks the most questions wins? Right? That's very true.
Yeah.
If you watched the debate last night, I'm not getting into politics, but nobody asked questions, right? It is just hammering their point home on all sides. So the person that asks the question, I always try to answer a question with another question because I know that I am winning the conversation because I'm in charge of it by being the one that's answering the questions. That's what you need to think about doing when you are talking about contracts and negotiating with other agents. So we're going to go through this. So there are two phases, right, for negotiating. One is the offer, and then the other one, that's the offer phase, is just to get it under contract. And phase 2 is during the due diligence period or the option period, okay? And that's when we're under contract. Our goal is to get it closed, but we still have the terms that we're trying to negotiate, okay? So
this is the offer for the house?
This is the offer for the house. Yep. So you want to, how can your ability to negotiate the outcome of the deal? How are you negotiating every day? What skills do great negotiators possess? And why is asking questions important when negotiating? So just answer that really quickly for me. Think about someone that you have had negotiations with. What is a skill that they have that you feel made them a great negotiator?
Asking questions and listening to.
Listening. I think that is so big. Yes. I think listening is probably the #1 skill that we can have as a negotiator. Anybody else?
Using what you listen to formulate your offer. It has to go hand in hand with what they just answered you. Everything they said, so we can box them in.
I will also tell you that sometimes I am really good about pushing my wants, desires, feelings onto my buyers. And what I mean by that is when I come into a house, I have to constantly remind myself of what their goals and outcome is and what they are looking for.
I'm the same way.
Because there are times when I walk into a place I would never ever live, and I know that their money can get them a little bit more, but they love it. And I have to learn to shut my mouth because part of me would be like, yeah, but look at that. Look at that. But that's not, they're not me, right? And if I've done my job of asking them the right questions and listening to what their desired outcome is, then you've got to take yourself out of the picture, okay? So that's something to be really aware of.
So can I ask you a question? Just because so you're talking about the offer. Is this when you are in the house and you're trying to convince them that's the right house, or?
So you never ever want to convince them that it's the right house. Because they will always, it's just not good. But yeah, I'm just talking about when I'm going through looking at homes with them, you've got to learn to take yourself out of the picture, out of the equation. You're not going to be the one living there. And that's why asking questions is really important. Yeah. Did someone do an Ignite class for a buyer consultation?
Yeah. That's what we did.
Okay,
Okay.
so that is really important, but that you're using questions and things like that to direct them. You are not telling them. But it's very easy to get into that mindset once you start getting confident in your skills to start projecting yourself onto what they should want and what they, and we can't do that. You can't do that. It's really difficult though sometimes. So after the investment of moving a lead through the process, you don't want a deal falling through because your lack of negotiating skills, right? So let's go to page 4 in your participant guide. So once an offer is made, there are 3 possible outcomes, right? Page 4 looks like this.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what you have?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we have.
Okay, so there's 3 possible outcomes of your offer. It can be accepted, it can be rejected, or it can be countered. So accepted, rejected, countered. And this, when it's countered, is where your negotiation skills can really shine, okay? So they want you to break up into small groups. We have a small group here today. So we're just gonna kind of do this with each other, okay? So let's brainstorm the negotiation issues that have the potential of coming up during the buying or selling process, okay? So I want you to just write down, each of you write down 5 things on page 4, write 5 things that could come up during your negotiation process, during the counter process. And then we're gonna discuss them. You're writing down what are some things that could come up that could be possible negotiation issues.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what did you guys come up with? What are some of the things you came up with?
I came up with the price, of course.
Price.
Yeah.
What about you, Tara? What did you come up with? Give me one. We've got price so far. You're still muted. What
I'm
about
sorry.
you? Okay, there you go.
I was on the, I had shrunk this screen so I could get to the elementals guide. They might want to negotiate on closing costs.
Closing costs, great. Good one. What about you, Brian?
And so the closing date,
The date, yep. Okay, what about you, Robin?
When it comes to price, them knowing what exactly they can get for that price. You know, they may want something more than what that price will get them.
Okay, all right. All right, what about you?
I just like things to, they want to negotiate things to be fixed.
Repairs.
Repairs.
Yep, good one.
Or if there is an outstanding balance that we didn't know, initially fees or.
Well, that won't be negotiated. That the title company will take care of all of that.
Oh.
Yes, because there will be a lien on the property.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Assessments can be
Yeah,
negotiated.
So that's
Mhm.
what I meant.
Like condo,
Assessment,
yep,
yeah.
assessments can, yep, good one. Okay. Appraisal could come into negotiation if it didn't appraise whether or not the buyer wants to come up or down to get the deal closed. Yeah, that
I was
could.
gonna say, yeah, like, an inspection.
Mm-hmm. Inspection, repairs. And then also you guys, furniture items and household items.
Fixtures.
Yeah, actually can really be a big deal, and they shouldn't be. I've had deals turn into disasters because of a light fixture or a mailbox. I've had plants removed from the property, and at walkthrough, the buyer refused to close because the seller removed plants that were in the ground. But the plants really meant a lot to the seller, but it wasn't in the contract for the, I mean, you guys, pineapples. I had a deal almost not closed because of pineapples that were being grown in the yard. I mean, crazy stuff. So that's why you want to have everything laid out that you think could be a foreseen issue, okay? So those are some great ones. So yes, definitely those with negotiation. All right, page 5.
Hold on. And it's like, so what happened with the pineapples? Like, what was the outcome?
Yeah, so the pineapples, the seller refused to bring them back. My buyer refused to close. The seller ended up giving my buyers a $50 gift card to Home Depot to go buy some plants to fill in, yes, where they were taken.
That was reasonable. I would have gone for 100, but
Yeah. I was going for this is ridiculous. Just let's see. I've had to have a $3,000 fridge replaced at walkthrough because the seller tried to sneak in a different refrigerator than what we closed with. I've had a mailbox taken because it meant something to them, but they didn't put that in the contract. And so they had to come before we could close and put a new mailbox in. I have had a seller have to mail us FedEx handles, knobs for cabinets that they traded out that were not in the contract that they were keeping. So just, it gets ugly, you guys. So anyway, Cool, Calm, and Xanax is your friend. I'm just kidding. I'm not on Xanax. Okay, but if you are, that's fine. I support it. Okay. All right, page 5. So let's talk about negotiation. So typically pricing and terms are going to be our big negotiating factors. Okay, so let's read these. All right, so price. While the sales price is the primary factor in negotiation, it is not necessarily the bottom line. In a situation where a seller receives multiple offers at the same price, that's when terms really come into play. And when I say terms, we're talking closing cost, we're talking closing date, we're talking conveyances, that's personal items, furniture, things like that. We're talking earnest money and option fees and repairs. And I can't stress to you enough that that is why it really comes into play to know what's important to your seller and to know what's important to your buyer, which gets us back to the importance of asking questions. So automatically, when I was a newer agent, I automatically assumed that price was the most important, and that was really the only thing I needed to focus on with my sellers and buyers. But I will tell you there have been several deals where my sellers took a lesser price because the terms were better for them in the other deals. And I think that it's something that we don't really put enough importance on are the other terms. I think a lot of times we just focus on price, and a lot of times that's not what's best for your seller or your buyer. So if your seller can actually stay in the home for an extra 60 days, that might be important to them. Or if they can keep their grandmother's light fixture, that might be important to them. If you have a house, okay, here's another thing. FHA, VA, conventional loans. I'm not going to get into these, but it is your job and your responsibility. I've helped several agents, seasoned agents in our office that have taken their buyer to look at a home, made an offer on a home, had a home inspection done, And if I had been there and seen that home, I would have told you good and well that it would not pass a VA or an FHA home inspection. It is your job and your responsibility to protect your buyer from that. So I get a little angry about that because that buyer was out a home inspection. That buyer was out a pool inspection. That buyer was out a septic inspection. And if I had seen that home, I never would have let my buyer, knowing that they had an FHA loan, even make an offer on it. So that was that. That's why you have to educate yourself. What are FHA lenders looking for? If they're, and that's a whole different class. I can't get into that today, but start researching it. Wood rot. If there is any wood rot on there, if that seller is not willing to make repairs, you're not going to pass an FHA or VA inspection sometimes. I'm not talking about little things. I'm talking about major things. If the roof has a year left or 2 years left, do not show your FHA or VA buyer that house. The roof is not going to pass inspection.
So let's say, we know, and the buyer says, you know, I saw this house, I want to see it. And then you go do research and you find out all the things that you said. So how do you go about and tell the seller that that's not, because you have FHA or
You have the buyer, correct?
Yeah,
Is that
you
what you're
have the
saying?
buyer.
You're really having the conversation with your buyer, not the seller. Unless that seller is willing to repair, because you'll have listing agents that will accept your VA and FHA loan all day long because they want it under contract.
But then it doesn't pass.
Yeah,
So so both sides, if you are doing the listing, you have to make sure that the conditions are met so you can have any kind of loan.
for me, I am. For me, if I know that I've got 2 years left on a roof, like I know without a shadow of a doubt, and you come and bring your buyer and present to me your FHA loan, I'm not going to accept it. Because that is doing a disservice to my seller by pulling it off the market for 10 days for a home inspection period. I'm not going to accept it. There's agents that will accept it just so their seller knows, oh, we got it under contract. I'm not going to do it because it's not doing my seller. So it's your job to look at those things. It's your job to go do research. How old's the roof before you go? Now, a lot of the things you're not going to know till you get there. You're not going to know if there's wood rot. You're not going to know. But it's your job at that point to say, hey, I am going to let you know up front before we get this under contract and book an inspection. I am concerned about the amount of wood rot on this property. We might really want to reconsider making an offer on it. And at the end of the day, you work for them. If they still want to proceed with it and take a chance, sometimes it might pass. But it is your job, I feel, that you have fiduciary responsibility to make them aware of those situations.
So if the seller was offering credit or money for the roof, would it
Well,
pass?
Yes, if they're willing to replace it.
Or just give money, like?
It depends on the lender. Sometimes the lender will not close just with the promise of replacing it.
They need it.
No, not replacing it, like then you're gonna give cash or credit.
Yeah, that's what I'm
They say
telling you.
that.
Sometimes the lender will not. It depends on the lender, because who's to say they're actually gonna go do it with the cash?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think a
Maybe.
lot of times the seller's disclosure, you can ask for the seller's disclosure and see what's going on there too.
You can
But
ask for the seller's disclosure,
Sometimes.
but a lot of times it's not on
Right,
there.
right, exactly. And sometimes it's not on
But you
there.
guys, and I'm just telling you, a lot of times you're gonna get there and you won't know any of this stuff till you get there. So you don't beat yourself up. I'm not saying we're supposed to be all knowing, but what I am supposed to tell you is that it is your job to do as much research as you can about a property before you go. And you know your buyers. If you have a buyer that is barely making $150,000 purchase, please don't go show them houses that the walls are falling down and that they're going to have to replace an AC. You know what I'm saying? Like we have a job to direct them and to guide them. At the end of the day, we work for them, go show them, but do your research. I felt so bad with that one instance that I'm talking about, that buyer was out about $1,000 in inspections, and I could have told you from the street that it would not have passed an FHA rider loan. Okay. So those are the common points of negotiation. All right. Also, while we're talking about this, Do not give your buyers false hope that they are going to get all these closing costs and credits and credits. The time for negotiation is when you make the offer. We typically in Volusia County write contracts on as-is contracts. What does that mean? What do you think the word as-is means?
Whatever it looks like.
It means it's as is. What drives me crazy is when agents give me an as-is contract. Yes, it does have a due diligence period for inspections, but the point of inspections, this is what I tell my buyers. I will say, Melanie, I'm so excited about the offer that you're making on 321 Main Street. Our next step is that we want to schedule a home inspection. Now, Melanie, the purpose of this home inspection is not for us to renegotiate when we find things wrong with the house. You are going to get a list of things wrong with this house. It could be a 72-page report of things wrong with this house. What I like to do with this list is to know that it is kind of like a honey-do list for when you close on this house. It's a list for you to know what I need to repair when I close on this house. You guys, some agents out there are teaching buyers, okay, yeah, so no worries. We'll worry about that and we'll get a credit when it comes time for home inspections. You're not going to get a credit every time. And now you've just wasted 10 to 15 days of a seller being off the market. You've wasted that time, and you've wasted the time for the buyer who could have missed out on another property that wasn't requiring so many repairs. That's why you have to ask questions. If I've got like a single mom who is not handy and I'm showing her houses that are going to be lots of repairs, am I doing her due justice?
No.
Or like me, I'm not handy. And I'm not saying, my husband is definitely not handy. We got people doing work at our house right now. Like we pay people to hang stuff. So, I mean, you know, my point is that you don't just do a deal to get a deal. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing so much unprofessionalism of agents just doing a deal to get a deal. And then they're going through inspections, and then you get this inspection report and there's $2,000, $3,000 worth of repairs. You can't go back to that seller and ask for them to repair all of that. I mean, technically you can, but don't give your buyers false hope that that seller's going to agree to it. And so now they're going to have to walk away because they can't afford all those repairs. And now they just spent $400 on a home inspection. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You can ask for repairs, but you need to know your client. You need to know your customer. And with this house, what do I foresee? The point of a home inspection is for them to see if there's too much stuff for them to handle and they need to walk away. It is not for you to start renegotiating repairs for that. Oh, don't worry, we'll just get asked for a credit at close. No, ma'am. You can ask for it, but you're not always going to get it. And especially in this market, you guys, I have a house in Pelican Bay. We made an offer on it 15 days ago. We had an inspection. The seller's an engineer. He had already repaired so much on the house. To me, when I saw it, I thought, we're in great shape. We made a full price offer. We didn't even come in low. Full price from the get-go. Inspection came. My buyer wanted to have them repair the 4 smoke detectors. If you could see my eye roll.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 smoke detectors. I said, no, we're not asking for that.
Crazy.
A window seal. No, we're not asking for that. That's a repair thing. The only thing I really fight tooth and nail for are hazards, like wiring, electric. And then if it's a lot more than that, then I'm going to say you should probably walk away from this house. Okay. Now, so we did end up asking for a list of some wood rot to be repaired. The seller said no. And my buyer said, okay, we're going to continue. And they're going through with the purchase. Because it's as is. When you see it, that's how you're buying it. Don't be one of these agents out there that are trying to do all this renegotiating during the due diligence period. Okay. Because here's what will happen. You will start to get a reputation. And if it is my deal, if I submit an offer and then Tara submits an offer and that agent has already done 2 deals with Tara and Tara has come back and asked for things during the due diligence period, whose offer are they going to accept? They're going to accept mine because they know that Tara always comes back and asks for repairs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I am not, please hear my heart too and know that I'm not saying you can't ask for things. I'm not saying that. I hope everyone gathered that that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is set the correct expectations for your buyers that they're not going to walk away with $1,000 in credits at close for their repairs. Okay? So, you know, I have buyers go through the inspection report and, you know, oh, well, that I would like the GCI outlets repaired. Those are $15 at Home Depot. Don't lose a deal over some GCI outlets. I would like those 2 window locks repaired. You're gonna lose a deal over $8 window locks. The sprinkler heads, just don't be that person because no one's gonna wanna accept your deals, right? But all of that, I don't blame buyers for that, honestly. I blame the agents for not setting up proper expectations
Yeah,
when you're sitting down with them, okay? Sorry, I didn't mean to go down that rabbit hole, but I think that that is one of the biggest issues with negotiations. Okay. Let's talk about, so closing cost. If you have a buyer that needs closing cost and you know that up front, have that conversation with the agent before you submit an offer. Yes, ma'am.
Can you just go over what's closing?
Yeah, so
In
closing.
general first.
Well, so closing cost is something that if someone is barely getting by with their loan, they have no money to put down, they need help with their closing costs. They typically range between 2.5% to 5% of the purchase price is what they typically range from.
So 5% if they are not putting anything down?
Right. Well, that really doesn't even have anything to do with them putting anything down. That's what they have to bring to cover all their closing fees, their taxes proration, their title cost, those type of things. You need to have the conversation. So if I have a buyer, I'll say, Melanie, I am showing your property today at 321 Main Street. If my buyer is interested in it, is your seller open to closing cost? And if Melanie's a good agent, Melanie's going to say, well, my seller probably will consider closing costs as long as it's a solid offer. Okay. Don't come in if a property's listed at $245 with a $230,000 offer asking for 3% closing cost.
Especially now.
Because then the seller is actually walking away with like 220 on a house that's listed for $245. Okay. You've got to think logically.
So who's the responsibility usually?
Well, the buyer.
Oh.
It's the buyer. It's your fees as the buyer.
Okay.
So I have legit had sellers, they were old militant sellers, but they have had buyers offer them full price, but ask for closing costs. And the sellers have been like, if they need someone else to pay their closing costs, then they shouldn't be buying a house. Now, I don't have that mentality, but again, that goes back to knowing who your seller is and who your buyer is. But don't waste your time or the buyer's time or the seller's time by not asking questions. So I would call Melanie before I show her property and say, hey, would your seller consider closing costs with a solid offer? And Melanie's either going to tell me yes or no. And if she tells me no, I'm going to say, okay, we probably aren't going to see it today then. Okay. That just goes back to knowing who your customer is on both sides.
This is after you see the house.
This is before I see the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If I know that closing costs are an issue, we have to have closing costs. Yeah.
That's a waste of time.
Yeah. Because it's a waste of time to go see
It's
it.
a waste of time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the 2.5 to 5% will be in addition to the full price on the buyer side.
Well, it's not in addition to it. It's what they have to bring. Yeah, it's what they have to, they're financing 245 and then they've got to bring that to the table. Yeah. You can also offer above the purchase price to get the closing costs back. So let's say the house is listed at 240. You want 5% closing costs. You could offer 245 with 5% back in closing costs. However, you better really feel confident that that house is going to appraise. It's got to appraise at the 245, not the 240. So you better, without a shadow of a doubt, know your neighborhood and your comps that it's going to appraise. Because then what have you done? If it's not going to appraise, you've now just taken it off the market for 12 days. Your buyers missed out on other homes. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we talked about that
Yeah.
Wednesday.
This is not
appraisals
just,
being
you know,
done.
people think, oh, let me get into real estate. It's fun, they say. I say that at night, like when I'm crying in the fetal position. It's fun, they said it'd be fun. No. Okay. Closing date, I ask those questions. What is most important? Hey, Melanie, I'm super excited. My buyer loved your property. Besides price, what is most important to your seller as far as terms are concerned? And Melanie might say, oh, Amber, I'm so excited. I hope you guys submit an offer. Well, you know what? My seller, her son is not graduating until December 30th. So she would really, date is really important to her. She would really like to be in a little bit longer. Or I've had agents tell me, Amber, my seller's elderly. It's going to take her a little bit longer to get out of the property. So date is the most important term to her. So you guys, here's what I see. I see with, well, I don't want to say unexperienced because I see some agents that have been in the business for a million years doing this. They're just throwing an offer at me. And I'm like, how about asking me what's most important to my seller? It's going to be better for you in the long run to have communication with agents and conversation. Conveyances, fixtures. This goes along with your seller. When you are walking through a listing appointment, asking them, does everything in the house stay? Convey. Does it stay? Convey. That goes down to the washer and dryer. In the state of Florida, appliances are on our contract. Can your seller say, but we want to keep the fridge? Yes, they can. But it has to be in your MLS that the fridge does not convey. It needs to be in your seller's disclosure. The fridge does not convey. My tip with that, if I have a seller that says, I want to keep my refrigerator because it's one of those, you know, stupid $4,000 refrigerators that talks to me and tells me when I'm out of milk, then I am going to say, great, you can keep your fridge. What I would like for you to do is go ahead and purchase a fridge and put it in the home and move your fancy fridge outside to the garage. Because what happens when that buyer, you guys, the buyer sees the fancy $4,000 fridge that you put your palm up to it and watch TV off of it. And then what are they going to do? They're going to use it as negotiation. Okay, well, we were going to offer you 240, but now we're going to offer you 243. The house listed at 250. Just get it out of their mind. It doesn't need to be in the pictures. I'm just trying to make this easy on you. Tell them to put that fridge in the garage, say it does not convey, and replace it with a fridge.
That's right.
Because if you do these things, you guys, if you hit things before they become issues, you're making life easier on yourself when it comes time for negotiations. Does that make sense? Okay. Same thing with chandeliers. I've had people say, everything conveys in the house, but the chandelier of the dining room. That was my mom's and it's really special to me. Great. Oh my gosh, I love that you love that chandelier. Let's go ahead and get it out. So go ahead and take it out. I'm doing pictures on Thursday. Does that give you enough time to remove it and put something up in place? Just have that conversation. But you guys, agents don't do that. And then it becomes an issue during negotiations. Just get it out of sight, out of mind. They never knew about it because it's not in any of your pictures. And if, I'm going to tell you this, if something is in the pictures, You will have agents and buyers that are gonna look at every detail of those pictures, and if you change anything, they are gonna want what was in that picture. Go ahead and address it. Bull by the horns. Earnest money. Okay, everyone has different thoughts on this. I'm gonna tell you my thought. I try to put as little down as I can for my buyer. I try to do $1,000 to $1,500. Typical earnest deposit is 1%, okay, of the purchase price. I try to put, even if today I have a home inspection for a $400,000 home, I put $1,000 down for escrow.
Really?
And the listing agent accepted it.
Wow.
Okay, because I pride myself on being on top of my game with contract dates and things like that, but sometimes things happen that are not in your control. I want my buyer's money protected, and I don't want $4,000 sitting out there.
Yeah.
Now, if I know that we're in a multiple offer situation, am I gonna put $1,000 down?
No.
No. No, I'm not, okay? So that's another question. I'm gonna ask the selling agent, what's most important? She might say, oh my gosh, Sam, well, my seller got burned. Last month we had it under contract. The person just walked away because they found another house that they liked. They didn't care that they just lost $1,000 of their escrow money. So my seller would like $1,000 in escrow now, and then after inspection, another $5,000 non-refundable escrow deposit. I'll say, okay, if that's what's important to them. So that's why asking questions is important, okay? But you guys, you can negotiate that. So let's say the listing agent says, we want more in escrow. Great, Melanie, I'd be happy to put more down in escrow. I'll tell you what, my escrow is gonna be $1,000. After our home inspection period, my buyer would be more than happy to put another $1,000 in escrow. So if you look at the contract line, I didn't learn this till like I was in real estate for 2 years. I just did the bare minimum, right? But if you look on the first page of the contract, it says additional escrow. That's where you would say additional escrow $3,000, and you can write in the lines after due diligence period. And that just gives that seller more confidence in your offer, but it leaves less money out on the table for your buyer at first. Okay? Okay. And then repairs, we already talked about that. Okay. That was a lot of information. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Okay. And here's the deal too, you guys, we're sitting in a classroom. When it comes down to it, you're gonna forget everything that I said. Don't panic and don't freak out. You're gonna screw up, okay? Like I've screwed up so many times, don't worry. Just know it doesn't make you a bad realtor. You're gonna screw up. But just maybe something I said will stand out when you're trying to do this. Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
Like when you are in an open house and you have these people coming in, let's say you have someone who comes into your open house and likes the house.
Uh-huh.
You don't know them, they don't know you, you never sat with them to understand really what they're about. And then you can write the contract, but would it be good to write the contract and then schedule again consultation with them?
No, because at that point they're writing the contract on the house that you're in, they're making an offer on.
Okay.
So let's say that doesn't go through.
Just so
Then you would sit down with them. You're not wondering what their expectation. I mean, after they write the contract, then you're gonna have a conversation with them. Okay, Melanie, the next step is, sorry, you're getting picked on, sure.
Hey, I don't mind.
Thinking about the
I'm
repair
fine.
after the inspect. I had that happen actually too.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're gonna have a conversation, so but you don't have to sit down and do like a buyer consultation and things like that, but you're gonna have a conversation. So great, so our next step is to schedule an inspection. I'm gonna send you a list of 3 home inspectors. You can choose who you want to use, or you can use someone off this list. You're more than happy to use. Now, just remember, Melanie, that an inspection is not a time for us to renegotiate this contract, and it is not a time for you to, have them fix everything that's wrong with the house. An inspection is a time for you to basically get a honey-do list for after we close, or to see if there's some really big things that you need to walk away from, from the purchase of this home. That's just a conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, page 6, negotiating tips. Above all else, be professional. Number 2, remember your goal is a signed contract. This is what you're driving towards. It's what both agents and their clients have in mind. Don't ever come to an agent and be a hard, a double scribble, okay? You want to come with them and say, Melanie, I'm super excited about working to get this deal to the table, okay? You want to let them know we're on the same team. Control what you say to anyone involved in the transaction. If you create anxiety in your client or other parties, you're reducing their leverage in negotiations, okay? Your other goal too is to your buyers and sellers. At the end of the close, you want them to think, gosh, that was so seamless, even when it was not, even when it was a garbage truck. Okay, you want them to not know. I personally, because I am an easy read, like you pretty much know what I'm thinking by my face. I wish you didn't. I also just am an emotional person and I share a lot of information. So I have to really shut my mouth. Like, let's say I'm at a property and I get off the phone. One of my natural instincts, because I want to show that I'm in the clear, that I've done my job, is to be like, I'm so sorry, but that listing agent is ridiculous. I don't need to do that. I don't need to share that with my buyer, because what does that do? It creates
Anxiety.
Anxiety.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. But I know it sounds easy to sit here at this table and say you don't need to do that. But when you're in the moment, you want your buyer and your seller to know that you're doing your job. I'm sorry that this is a dumpster fire over here, but it's because of that listing agent. You're just creating anxiety in them. Just
They don't need to know.
they don't need to know it. Yeah.
You can tell someone here.
Yes.
Tell some of the agents in the
Yeah.
office, go
I've
get
got agents who'll say, I just need 5 seconds. I'm like, okay, your 5 seconds are over, move on. All right, continually refer to the motivation, reminding the client why they want to buy or sell. Okay, you guys, you need to do this all the time. You need to put their motivation in front of them all the time. All right, I'm a big believer in goals and goal poster and all of that. And I have to remind myself all the time, like, why I do this when I've got idiots agents around me, or when I've got a nasty seller or a nasty buyer, I have to remind myself, why do I do this? Okay, it's the same thing with your buyer or your seller. Oh my gosh, Melanie, I'm so sorry. Yes, that was a little crazy getting through the inspections, but I'm so glad we happened. Just I want to remind you that it's all going to be worth it when you're sitting in that big yard with your dog, you know, Toby playing, you know, whatever. You just have to remind them of why they wanted this house, why they are doing this. Okay. Seller, oh my gosh, you know, I know that this, you know, Robin has been horrible, but it's all going to be worth it when you're in Texas with those grandbabies, you know. So you're just reminding them all the time of the motivation. Don't reveal too much. You need to listen more than talk. Let's just read that again for fun. Listen more than we talk, okay? You've got to keep your client's motivation close to your chest. I am absolutely amazed. There's one broker in particular that I will, he'll be Voldemort, he who should not be named. But he will give you so much information about his sellers. Like I can call him and say something, and he is very well known here. And I know that they're going through a divorce. I know that they have to get out. I know all these things. And I don't know if it's just me. He tells me, I don't even know him, but he tells me stuff all the time. I'm like, okay, so if I know that they're going through a divorce, they need to move, what is my offer going to look like? Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So you have to remember who you have fiduciary responsibility
Yeah.
to.
So he wasn't doing them favor.
Oh gosh, no. Now here's another little caveat, okay? So agents in the office, I call Melanie and I say, oh my gosh, Melanie, I'm so excited. I saw your property at 321 Main Street and my buyer's in love with it. So tell me a little bit about your seller. Okay, you guys, but you say that face, but here's what agents do. They make you feel like you're supposed to tell them. especially ones in our office, they're not doing it on purpose. They are
Yeah.
actually just having a friendly conversation with you, thinking,
Yeah,
we work together, we're in the
Good.
same
yeah,
office,
you know each
we're
other.
just talking.
Right, yeah, yeah.
And as a newer agent, you think, oh, well, I want to get this deal done. I'd love to do it with Melanie in my office. So Melanie, yeah, they're going through divorce. So it's been a little stressful. But yeah, we'd love to look at any offers. We're open. Now, I just shared with Melanie because I want to relate to her. I want her to like me. I want her to write an offer on my property. And really, Melanie just asked me the question, so I feel like I'm supposed to answer it.
Mhm.
Guess what?
You're gonna use it.
You're not. Don't
No,
answer it.
No.
I'm a seasoned agent. I had another seasoned agent in here, again, Baltimore, who reached out to me and I said, I have fiduciary responsibility to my seller, so I can't share that with you. And he's like, Amber, seriously, come on, just tell me, like, what's it gonna take? I'm like, 3 times we went back and forth. You don't have to tell them. Don't tell them, okay? But I'm gonna tell you, as a new agent, I probably told too much stuff
Oh,
because I didn't know any better. And that was a seasoned agent. Seasoned agents love to talk down to you as new agents. They don't mean to. If I get called dear and, oh, I've been in the business 13 years. Okay, well, I'm so excited for you. Maybe it's time for you to retire. You know, they love to talk down to you. And when they do that, you feel like you need to answer what they're saying. It's just a natural thing. I know I did it as a new agent. I know I did. Maybe even last year I probably did it. I probably said too much or whatever.
Yeah.
You have the right, and not only the right, but the responsibility to your buyer or seller to say, I'm so sorry, I have fiduciary responsibility to my buyer. I can't share that information. Okay? Sorry, I got a little excited about that. Okay. Okay, this one always makes me laugh. Don't be attached to the outcome.
Cool.
Okay. That's really hard to do.
Yeah.
I have sat at my table many a nights and cried when my buyers have, you know, lost out on a house that was perfect for their family. It's hard not to be attached. But at the end of the day, you need to set up those expectations with your buyers or sellers and just say, if this one does not work out, it was not meant to be your buyer or seller. And then look for a different win for your client. Okay. All right. It wants us to get into groups and brainstorm, but you know, I value your time. Yeah.
I got a good it's a fortune cookie, and so the other day, like it's with and like my Chinese dinner, and it said if you lose, sometimes it was meant to be.
Yeah, and that's so true, and that's hard to feel that in the moment.
But that was a good one that I you know, if you're talking to a buyer who doesn't get the house that they put an offer in, you know, that was just a nice little piece of wisdom, I thought.
100%. You should make copies of that fortune. You should get lots of those fortune cookies made, and you just hand them out.
I think I put it on and like my Instagram, so it was good.
That's one of my favorite. I love to work with people of faith. I'm a faithful person. I have a belief, and it makes it so much easier because I'm just like, oh, wasn't meant to be your house, you know. Okay, page 6. Nope, we just did that. Just kidding. Okay. All right. Turn to page 7. So this is the 3 Ps. Here's what I want to also stress to you guys. Looking at things right now might feel really overwhelmed because it's a lot of information. You're not going to learn this overnight. You're going to learn this deal after deal after deal. Negotiation is not a trait that anyone is just born with. It is a learned skill. And I will tell you that if you really want something, you can teach yourself how to be better at it. You will not learn it by sitting at your TV. I never had the TV on. You will not learn it by reading magazines or garbage books or watching the news. You will learn it by attending trainings. You will learn it by reading books on how to be a better negotiator. You will learn it on how to be better at money by reading books, following blogs, listening to podcasts. Sitting and watching the news and TV is not going to get you to where you want to be in 5 years. That's a whole nother class. I just wanted to share that because I remember sitting one time, my husband is Lance Morgan. He's one of the lenders here.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that.
And
Okay.
so he
Oh.
always brings up and laughs because we were college sweethearts.
Oh.
And I used to have to, at speech classes, right? So I took speech. I failed it a couple times because I just stopped going. I dropped it several times. Anyway, I hated speaking in public. I hated public speaking. I would not have been able to even just sit here with the three of you and the three of you.
Huh.
I used to throw up before I had to go give a speech.
Wow.
Since that time, I really listened to podcasts. I have researched and read books on building that confidence, and I just did it scared. But I've spoken in front of 500, 1,000 people at a time with something else I do. That was not a skill that I had naturally. But if you saw me today, you would think, oh, this just comes super easy,
Yeah,
right?
I would never know that.
Not that I'm like great at this, but I just
I would
like,
never know
I'm not
that.
throwing up on you. So that's
Yeah,
that's improvement.
Yeah.
So my point in saying that is if you're sitting here like thinking, gosh, this is a lot of information. How am I supposed to juggle all this? And how am I supposed to be good at it? You can learn it. And when I look at some of the realtors out there, you guys, a lot of them really suck. So there's not, if you are willing and committed to this trade, you can be amazing, but it is not sitting and watching TV. You've got to learn and seek out resources to help you be better, but it is a learned quality. You can learn it. Okay, sorry. But I feel like sometimes we speak down to ourselves and we think, oh, I could never do what she does or do what he does because I don't have that skill or I don't have that personality. There's going to be people that are going to relate to you more than they relate to me and want to work with you over me. And that's the beautiful thing, right? But it is important to learn the skill set that you need to be better than the agent sitting across from you. Okay. So the 3 P's: prepare, present, and position. So number 1, prepare. Preparation is key to building confidence and ensuring a smooth negotiation process. Number 2, present. This is move into the negotiation process by presenting your offer. And guess what? There's a skill to that. I'm gonna touch base on that. And then 3, I don't know why that has 2, but does yours say 2?
Yeah,
It
it says
says
two.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I'm like,
That's an error, I
okay,
guess.
it is.
Yeah.
Move both parties close until you have full agreement. So trying to just work towards the middle. Okay, so I think everyone should have this in a stack of stuff. Presenting your, prepare an offer.
Yeah.
So let's just touch base on this. Prepare an offer. Okay, so one of the things that I feel like is really important is prepping. So a lot of agents will like to just, oh, you want to go see houses? Oh, I'm so excited here. Let's go see some houses. And then they don't prepare to go see the houses, okay? You've got to prepare in so many ways as a realtor. Part of that preparation comes when you're ready to make an offer as well. There's a lot that goes into making an offer. It is not just writing up the contract, which, let's be clear, in itself is overwhelming sometimes, right? So let's talk about preparing an offer. Number 1, obtaining the buyer's pre-approval letter from their lender. In this market especially, you should not be with any buyers if they are not prepared, approved,
No.
all of the above. Okay.
Mhm.
You're wasting your time. All offers should be presented with a pre-approval letter from a lender, okay?
Or if it's cash, a bank statement or something for the bank.
Yeah. Number 2, produce a comparative market analysis. Okay. I have an engineer that I'm working with right now. He would like a CMA on every property that we go see.
I
Okay.
believe it.
So, I don't do that, but, I do make sure that every property we go to, unlike some buyers that I can go out with and not do this, I do know the range of what houses are selling in that market. That is your job. Don't just go prepare your
Yeah.
list of houses to show without
Mhm.
having an idea of what
Yep.
the neighborhood offers, and all of that, and what the houses are selling for. Also, it is not your job to tell your buyer what price they should offer for the house. You will want to. Why? Because they will ask you,
No, they will.
what do you think? What do you think we should offer?
Yeah, but,
Okay.
but you have to educate them because there is appraisal.
How do you
appraisal
educate them?
time. By, you know, you can say, if they make an offer that makes sense, you don't say anything.
You
But
ask
if it-
them what,
But if it makes sense, you can have a cheat sheet with you or a reminder, like notes taken, and you say, remember that these things coming up, and we have to make sure that it goes through, you know, depending on the loan they have, depending on, you know, the appraisal, the neighborhood, how much it's selling for, so they cannot be ridiculously low or ridiculously high.
I'm just gonna point you back to the CMA.
Okay, yeah, the same.
I loved everything you said, but the CMA,
Yeah.
that is how they determine their price, is you present this to them. And you would just say, so Melanie, based on this CMA, you can say, you can see what houses are selling for in this neighborhood. So based on this and your desire to get into this home, where do you want to make your offer starting at?
Usually they
And-
always start lower.
And then you just need to,
Something.
and then in this market, when you know, this is my like award-winning, it hasn't really won any awards, but in my head it has. My award-winning statement that I say. I will say, Brian, let me ask you, you're pre-approved for $250, right? That is what our pre-approval letter is. This house is listed at $245. Based on what you just told me, you want to make your offer for $240. In this market, I know that this house has actually already been shown 3 times today. So tonight, if you found out that your offer was not accepted and the offer that was accepted was for $245, would you be upset?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Brian's gonna say,
Yeah.
yes, I would. Then Brian, my recommendation is that you come in with a solid offer, what your best and final would be. I just put it to them like that. If they are pre-approved for $250 in this market, the house is listed for $245, then we should be offering $245. Now, as you get more educated with the market and what it's doing, for instance, I have a home inspection today for it. It was listed at $400. It had only been on the market for 2 days. However, I knew that it was overpriced because I know the market. My buyer wanted to come in at full price. Okay, now I'm kind of playing Russian roulette here, right? My buyer's wanting to come in at full price, but I really feel like they're going to be overpricing it. And so I said, based on the CMA and what I know in this neighborhood, I really feel like at full price that you are going to be overpaying. But at the end of the day, Joe, if tonight you went home and we found out that we lost this property because you listened to me over $5,000 and you'd be upset, then make the offer that you want to make. But what did I do there? I let him know what I thought,
Yeah, you did.
but I gave him full room to make the offer that he thought, because I don't want to be blamed. But I also want Joe to know that when that appraisal comes in low, because it would have, I want him to say, I remember you said that we should price it around this, right? So I'm clear,
So if
basically.
the appraisal comes low, are you gonna renegotiate the price?
It's up to the buyer and seller. If the buyer has the money to come up and wants the house, they can, or if the seller, sometimes they'll meet in the middle. Sometimes the seller will come down really low. I just always stress, you're going into this property with negative equity. a year coming up, but a lot of times they really want the house, so they do it. Yeah. Okay, does that make sense what I just said? Okay. That's why the CMA is important. Review the tax records. Look for property, look for information about the price history. Ensure the property is still available. You guys, agents are idiots. They will let you go show a house and they accepted an offer this morning for it.
How about if an
I hate
agent
that.
let you go see a house and he's already closed on a house?
Oh yeah, that's
You
happened
make an
too.
offer.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
So
That's
you've
what-
got to ask those questions,
Mhm.
okay? So before I write an offer, I will say, hey Tara, I'm just checking. This is Amber. I showed your property at 321 Main Street. Do we have any offers on the table? Okay, so making sure it's still available. I build rapport and ask questions of the agent as much as I can. We've already talked about that, right?
I got a question. Say that you were scheduled for an open house on Sunday. You got an offer accepted on a Saturday. Would you still have the open house?
I do still hold the open house
Yep.
because I want backup offers.
Okay.
And
All right.
I'll just let anyone that know that walks in the house. Brian, thank you. Welcome to the open house. I'm super excited. I do want to let you know that we did accept an offer yesterday, but we are accepting backup offers, which is why we're holding the open house today. Because honestly, until you go through inspection, that house is still free game, really,
Okay.
you know? So I want to have a list of people that have come through that house that was interested in it.
Yeah.
So I can call them when it goes kaput.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless I just really had something I wanted to do on Sunday and I was not wanting to do that open house.
So
Yeah.
how do you go by if you have an offer and it doesn't go through, and then you call that, backup plan? How do you make it look still good instead of having,
So
because
that
now they
looks
have
like
the
this.
edge.
Hey Sarah, this is Amber. I don't know if you remember me, but I met you at the open house at 321 Main Street and it was under contract. Unfortunately, the buyer's lending fell through, or unfortunately, they had the home inspection and they decided not to proceed because something was on there that didn't work for them.
You have
I
to
would
say
love
that.
for you to come and take a look.
You can always say the lender, even if it's not the lender, just,
Well, no, you're not a liar.
okay.
No, only say that if that's the case. Only say what's the case.
It's just
You
so
don't
they
have to
know.
give all this information, but you could just say, unfortunately, during the inspection period, the buyer decided to walk away. Would you like to come and take a look again?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, only say true things.
Okay.
Yeah. You're so cute. Yeah, only say true things. I just was saying sometimes it
Because
might
whatever
be.
it refers for that buyer, it's not the same,
No, there are some houses that I'm telling you, my husband, I would run
Yeah.
from because he's just not handy. He has many other gifts and I love him, but that's not his gift. So we would run where Aaron's husband, he's so handy. They would love it, you know? So yeah. Inquire about activity on the property. You can ask that. So you could say, hey, this is Amber. I'm calling about 321 Main Street. We were thinking about making an offer on your property that you had for sale. Have you had a lot of showings? Because I want to know what's the interest.
Mhm.
And I will typically, you guys, even though showing time is big, agents like to use showing time to schedule showings, I will text that agent and say, hey, Melanie, I'm showing your property today at 321 Main Street. Have you had a lot of showings? Even if my buyer's not interested in it yet, I want to know going into it.
Mhm.
Number one, do I need to act on it if we leave that property right then and they like it? If Melanie says, yeah, actually, we've got 5 showings today and we had 4
Uh-oh.
yesterday. Am I going to wait till I've shown 10 houses today for my buyer to see that one?
Mhm.
No, I'm going to move it up to the top of
first
the
one.
list.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to let them know there is a viable chance that this is going to go under contract by end of day today. So if you're interested in it when we leave here, we need to go ahead and make an offer. Okay.
And another question.
Yeah.
If they have and like an offer on the table, would say like a day to and like accept the offer, would you be like, okay, we need to get like our offer in before that time period elapsed? Like, would you ask and like the agent, like how long does the offer have before they can accept it, and ask them to hold off until you show it?
So, let me see if I understand what you're saying. So if I'm making an offer on a property, I typically will give a 24-hour response time. I want to know whether or not you accept my offer within 24 hours.
Mhm.
If it is a hot property and I feel like I'm giving a solid offer, let's say I'm presenting the offer at 10 a.m., I would say that I want to know same day.
Okay, and say that the house that you want to show your clients has had and like it's 5 or 6 so showings that day, knowing that unless that offer has been accepted already that day, you know, would you
Yeah, so I
ask if any offers have been in yet?
Yeah, so I would say, hey, Brian, listen, my buyer's really interested in your property that I'm gonna go show today. Have you had any offers?
Yeah.
And Brian's gonna say, yeah, we've got one on the table. I'm like, great, have you negotiated it yet? And Brian's gonna say, no, not yet, but I'm meeting with my sellers today at 5 o'clock. I'll say, perfect. Please don't make an offer until you hear from me after my showing today. And then I'm gonna respond to Brian. I'm gonna say, it's not for us. Go ahead and negotiate your offer. Or Brian might say, well, I'll do my best, but it's a solid offer.
Yeah.
So they might say that, but again, you guys, that's why it's really important to build rapport with other agents. I could call it like Mike Bretzel the other day had a house that had like 10 offers and I couldn't get over there till 6 p.m. at night. And I was like, Mike, can you please hold off till I can get there? Well, not me, my buyer couldn't get over there till 6. And he did. And then as soon as I left there, we didn't like it. And I said, hey, go ahead. So you want to be respectful of them too. Let them know. Don't just leave them hanging either.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
You can always ask. That's the thing. Don't be scared to ask and don't be scared to say, hey, can you hold off? They might say no, but you can always ask.
Yeah.
Okay. Obtain a seller's disclosure statement. This is kind of a thorn in my side. A lot of agents will put a seller's disclosure on the MLS under documents. A lot of agents will say, I don't have it yet fully filled out. I'll get it to you once we're under contract. Technically, you're not under contract until you have the seller's disclosure and everything filled out. I always try to get that before. But here's the deal. Your main things that you're worried about are roof and AC before you go see a house. Even if I don't have the seller's disclosure, I'm going to ask those things to know, or I'm going to look for the permits if I know my buyer will really be interested in it.
What about the AC?
I want to know how old it is. ACs typically last 8 to 10 years, on beachside 4 to 5. So if I have an FHA buyer and the AC's on year 10, I just know, I want to know up front, am I wasting my time to go see that? Yeah.
Wouldn't it be covered by the warranty?
Not necessarily. And what warranty?
The warranty that we spoke about last time.
Well, not if a warranty's not provided.
Oh, okay.
So a warranty's not provided on every home. So the buyer would have to agree to buy one, or the seller, and sometimes the ACs aren't. If the AC's already 10 years old, that home warranty company's not gonna, they find ways to not cover
Yeah, when
the
they're
AC
too old.
that's broken.
Yeah, when they're
Yeah.
too old. 'cause
Don't
it's
ever depend on that.
So that's not
Pre-condition.
something that they have to put on the listing?
Nope. No, I never, ever have my sellers provide home warranties on the listing. I only offer that when
No,
it's,
the AC, the age of the AC. It's not something that's.
it doesn't have to be on there. No. So always ask that question.
But you're
Yeah.
also saying you don't have your sellers usually have a home
But it
warranty
could
either.
be a deal breaker, that's why.
I don't have my sellers provide one automatically. Now, if that's part of a negotiation that the buyer asks for and their offer is really solid, then I might agree to it.
Well, on Wednesday, the other agent, she was saying, if you represent a buyer, definitely ask for a home warranty.
Definitely
That's,
ask for,
I think
but,
where this is coming from.
but I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
say definitely ask for it.
Yeah, it's just a
Because if
matter of
my
opinion.
offer is pretty crappy, I'm not gonna then
Yeah,
ask
right,
them
no.
to give me a warranty on top of that.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
Because we know it's coming up on the.
But if I
inspection.
have a solid
Mhm.
offer,
Mhm.
then I would definitely ask
Yeah,
for
it
a home
depends on
inspection.
the person.
Yeah,
agent.
Yeah, I would definitely ask, not a home inspection,
It's different.
a warranty.
Yeah.
It depends on the house. It depends on the person. If I know that there's multiple offers, I'm not asking for a home warranty because that's
No.
just one more thing a
Mhm.
seller is gonna have to pay for
Right.
and make my offer not look good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay. So that's preparing an offer. All right.
Okay.
Any questions about that? I feel like we did good with that.
No, you did good.
Okay. Page 8.
Page 8.
You have it, page 8? Okay. 3 P's for preparing: know your goal, know your client, their goals. Set clear expectations to all the parties. Be informed before making your offer. Obey the laws. And then know your documents. Okay? Know your documents. I feel like we've already gone over these like several
Yes.
times, so I feel like
I
you're good
think,
with
yeah,
these.
yeah, you went
Okay.
over them.
All
Yeah,
right.
You did, you sure did.
Okay. All right, this
11.
is always fun. Page 9. Read the scenario below. Circle or underline the key areas in which you need more information or certainty before you could confidently negotiate on your client's behalf. Write 3 specific questions you would ask your client in the space provided below. Scenario: you are representing a single buyer. Your client is renting her present property. Like any first-time buyer, she is looking to you to guide her through the process. The asking price for the home she really loves is $175,000. The house appears to have evidence of a roof leak. It's listed as is and is correctly priced. Your client would like to keep her payment as low as possible since she still has a number of student loans to pay off. She wants to write an offer for $155,000. There's been a lot of activity on the listing. What are some questions you could ask to your client? Like we're taking an SAT. Some of this information is not important in this paragraph. They just say all that to trick you.
Well, first of all, she's obviously, it depends really. You said the house is priced correctly, okay.
House is priced
Right.
correctly. A lot of people are looking at it.
Right. Well, the first thing I would want to know is, if it's as is, are you gonna have enough, you're gonna have to put in a lot of money, to fix this house? Or are you prepared to do that? That would be one of my first things.
Okay, so that's really, you guys, the main thing to ask.
Mhm.
And then, so you can look and you can see that there's some roof damage,
I was
Yeah.
gonna say walk away.
okay?
No.
It's priced at $175,000. She wants to offer $155,000. Oh my gosh, okay, Melanie, I'm super excited. So let's say that we offer $155,000 and they accept it.
Mhm.
How are you gonna proceed in getting the roof repaired?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, the reason why this specifies as is, because in most states with an as is contract, it's as is. In the state of Florida, especially Volusia County, for some reason, we ignore the as is part a lot.
They
It
do in
drives me
Georgia
insane.
too. In Georgia. the same
Okay.
thing.
So that's why to them, they specified it's as is, because here your brain's already working thinking, well, we could negotiate. No, as is really means as is. We just don't follow that here for some reason. But my big thing is be like, Melanie, great. So let's say that they accept your offer of $155,000. Do you have the funds and means to put a new roof if that is called for when we have our inspection? And if Melanie's going to say no, I'm going to really let Melanie know, okay, remember, we have to pay $400 approximately for a home inspection.
Mhm.
So I don't want you to be out that $400 if you don't even have the money to repair or replace the roof. And at the end of the day, you guys, if Melanie decides to proceed with this house, you've done your job
Yeah.
of stating your concerns. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mhm.
You can't force, I don't try to push anybody away from a house. I don't steer them away from a particular house, but I do want them to think about, because home buying is a highly emotional process, especially for certain personalities. So they get all wrapped up. You ever been to an auction and all of a sudden you're bidding for something? I mean, and you're like, oh, what just happened? I went one time with my husband and he's like, cause he's like calm and like, you know, he doesn't get involved in things like that. But I'm like, he's like, what is happening? Put the paddle down. I'm so excited. So it's the same thing with home buying. They get caught up and wrapped up, and you just want to give all the ins and outs and then let them make that decision. The big thing is making sure Melanie knows, how are you going to pay for the roof if the roof calls for a new roof? And the roof might not. The roof might be a $500 repair. And if that's the case, great. But
Yeah.
I just want to state what
That's
could
true
be.
too.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be.
All right. Present. So when you're presenting an offer, pay attention to the verbal and nonverbal cues, right? This really goes with your seller. When I have a seller, I try to present all offers in person because I can read their body language.
Mhm.
Okay.
How do you do?
It's a good idea.
If they're here, I try to do it in person. I just say, hey, we have an offer on the house. Can we meet today at 4 o'clock?
You do it with the agent or with the seller?
No, with the seller.
You can call directly the seller?
No, this is if you represent. Should we do this here? Okay, your food is here.
Oh, okay.
So here's my thoughts, you guys. I don't know what you've done in the past. Have you, I'll clarify in a second. If you want to take a break to eat, or I
Yeah.
feel like I like to just kind of go through and you eat while we talk. Is
That's a
that
good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm good at,
Time is money.
obviously, I'm good at eating and talking, so, yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
So
Sure.
let me touch, this is if you represent a seller,
Okay.
not a buyer.
So who are you meeting with? The
I'm
seller or the
representing the seller. I'm gonna meet with the seller and I'm gonna
Oh.
say, hey, we have an offer. I'd like to meet with you today at 4 o'clock to present it.
Okay.
So that way you can see their body language and they can see yours.
buyer?
If you can't do it in person because of COVID or because they're an out-of-state seller, they've already moved, then I would do it on Zoom.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least.
Right, yeah.
I want to have face-to-face interactions so they can see my face and I can see their body language.
Right.
So I can watch them as I'm talking about the parts of the contract and see where they start getting closed. So if it comes to the close date, they're gonna make cues. They're gonna make nonverbal cues. They're gonna go inward, they're gonna cross their arms, they're gonna shift away. You can tell, you can read people when they start becoming closed off to what you're saying. So I wanna see if that's when I talk about the close date, the negotiations, the price, where they start getting closed off.
Can I ask you a question? For the closing dates, there is a standard closing date, which is 30 days, right?
Nothing standard.
Nothing.
You can never
It could
say
be 60
standard.
days, it could be whatever you
Yes.
write down. Okay.
Now, typical, where you're not gonna get laughed off the face would be 45 days. You're pretty safe with 45 days.
Okay.
Some people will try to do 30, and guess what? Can lenders do it? Yes, not right now because appraisers are backed up. Underwriting is backed up, all because of COVID. So have I had lenders close a deal in 21 days? Yes. Do they like you when you make them do that? No. And chances are, especially now, you're gonna have to file an extension and everyone's gonna hate you in 21 days because your buyer's already planned on moving in, your seller's planned on moving out, and because you chose a bad date and tried to rush it, no one's happy. So, okay, go grab food and then we'll come back in here. You guys, the pizza, you can't have it because you're not here, but go grab whatever and we'll be here.
I thank you.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Whew.
Do you want some pizza?
No, thank
Are
you.
you sure? Okay.
Thank you.
I've gotten it twice. Good old cheese pizza. Oh my goodness. I took all the plates.
Ah,
oh,
you're so
good.
funny.
Jeez.
Seriously, no? I took all the plates. You're like, all mine, mine. All mine. How's it going? How's it going, Noah? You tell me. Is she doing okay in there?
Yes.
I'll ask her when she's not around. They might need to pay her more. Probably pulling up the reality.
Thank you for the pizza.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was not from Amber. Actually, Vincent was.
See, I want you to tell everyone I'm the favorite. Like, oh, when Amber teaches, she
We
brings
had
pizza.
Oh, Vincent bought it?
Vincent was
Oh,
gonna pay for it out of his own money. I'm like, oh, no, you're not.
oh,
He's so sweet. Yeah.
that is, that's very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, there should be some, yeah, there's some, water and tea and lemonade out there
Mhm.
too.
Okay.
We don't want you choking on the pizza.
Mm.
My homebodies are still not back.
You what now?
My homebodies.
Oh. Virtual pizza.
I know, I'm like, it smells really good, guys, sorry. That was good stuff.
Mhm.
I think I'm having this again tonight, so. I
Mhm.
don't want it, and it smells so good.
Mhm.
Have y'all been to the new pizza place, Bronx, or whatever, right off Dunlawton? It's so good.
Only place I've been out here is it's called Giuseppe's.
Giuseppe's is good.
What, orange?
I like, yeah, what do you? What's your preference out here?
I like Giuseppe's a lot, but this Bronx place by 95 and Vine, right on Dunlawton, it's really good pizza. My husband likes the place right over the Dunlawton Bridge, not Giuseppe's, but it's on the right-hand side.
What's it done on?
Yeah, right over the Dunlawton Bridge, Port Orange. It's on the right. I think it's a G name too. He likes them.
Yeah.
This is Alberto's. I do a lot of Alberto's because they support the schools
Mhm.
here.
Oh,
I'm-
that's nice.
On the PTA, and they do a lot of free pizzas. for
This
us.
is good.
Mhm. But try the Bronx. That's a new place, and it's pretty good.
Mhm.
And then you can have 95 and Vine, which we all live at.
Mhm.
Do either of you like Thai food?
Yes, I love it. I just had
Is there
some
a
Thai
good place
food.
for that around here?
Oh, you mean in Port Orange?
Daytona, Port Orange.
I know there's one in Ormond Beach. I actually got some food from yesterday. Can't remember the name of it, but it's right in the shopping center across from the new market center.
Good.
Straight across. You know, from the
Where
new,
that long strip is, there is.
there's it's really good.
Because
Okay.
it is
We had food from them yesterday. It's, I mean,
Where-
it's really
I'm in
good.
New York, there's a huge
I had already planned it. 'Cause you have to buy
Thai
a ticket.
Asian
You have to
communities where
reserve a
it's
spot.
tons of Thai restaurants, and then I moved
Mhm.
down here and I was kind of like,
Mhm.
oh man, am I not gonna be able to find a good
It's really good.
Thai
I
restaurant?
It's really good.
ALC. I
Okay.
just, I'm gonna get Hollywood
Really
Street
good.
Foods.
That's perfect. It's way fun.
I'm gonna be making a lightsaber. My son has saved up all his money to buy one of those stupid expensive lightsabers. So that's what we're doing on Tuesday.
Yeah, all good? Do you need anything in the meantime? Are you guys all good? Do you need anything?
No, I'm making them work through it.
Okay.
Keep going.
Lord,
Yeah, keep on going.
I'm like, our time is money.
I think I'll get another slice.
Yeah, I get some.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Who am I missing here? Tara,
Yeah, definitely.
Robin, are you there? I can't see. You're like a black hole.
Of course, grab as much as you like.
Are you back, Robin? Look, Robin had been here this whole time. I'm just kidding. I don't know if she has or not. Okay.
One is just not.
Did I answer your question? Yeah, okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So a couple of things that are really important to ask your seller. Learn the art of open-ended questions, you guys. Learn open-ended questions. There's tons of books on it. There's tons of, learn how to be a better question asker. So you always want to go deep on your questions. Don't just go surface. So with a seller, when a seller says, well, I need to be out of here, you know, I need to sell it in 2 months. You've got 2 months to list it and get it sold.
Mhm.
Well, why is that? What's important to you about that date? Well, because I need to get on and move to Texas. Okay, awesome. So what's in Texas? Why is it so important for you to be in Texas in 60 days? Well, because, you know, I'm just ready to get there. Like, just keep going those levels deep. So when you actually have a contract that might not be in 60 days, you can explain to them why it's okay and why we need to accept it, even though it might not look a little different. Same thing with buyers. Well, I want a big yard. Oh, okay. Well, you know, what are you going to do in this yard? Well, I like to garden. Okay. And I want a place for my dogs. Okay. So do we need a fence? Is a fence important to you? Yes. Yes. I would like a fence. Okay. Well, what's a big yard to you might be not a big yard to me. What kind of dog do you have? Oh, I have a 3-pound Chihuahua. Okay. So do we need a really big yard? But in your head, you may have been thinking, oh, we got to look at Quiet Place in the Country because they need an acre. It's all about asking questions. Okay. And then really that big question that is going to be y'all's game changer when you're working with your buyers is really saying, let me ask you, Melanie, what would happen if you don't get this house? And Melanie's either going to say, well, we'll just keep looking. And then I know Melanie's not really invested in this house. Or Melanie's going to say, I would be devastated. Like, I can picture my children here. I can see, you know, my dog would love this under the stairs cave, whatever. And then I'm going to say, great. Well, then Melanie, we really need to come in with a solid offer. And Melanie's going to say, well, I want to start a little bit lower, you know, and then we can negotiate up. Don't you love when they say that? And that's when you're going to say, so Melanie, let me ask you, if we found out tomorrow that, you know, the person that actually got their offer accepted for this house only beat you by $5,000, would you be upset? And Melanie's going to say, well, yeah. And then I'm just going to be quiet. So also understand the art of asking questions, but also the art of being quiet. Have you ever been around someone that is really good at silence?
Mm-hmm.
That's my husband. He has his master's in counseling, so he is really good about silence, like making you think for yourself and work through things. So then because a lot of times, you guys, we will talk our buyer and seller into something and then talk them right out because we keep talking.
Mm-hmm.
So just be quiet and just put it in their field. Okay? Also, when I'm presenting things to my buyers and sellers, I never stand over them. I am always sitting knee to knee with them. And I don't mean that literally, but I am sitting like this with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you come across a whole different way when you're standing up and hovering over someone, okay? So there's little things like that that are really important to make sure that you're doing as well. It's like when I discipline my children, I get down on their level. Like, I don't stand over my son and yell at him. Well, now one of them is above me, but I get down on my knees and I grab his arms, but I just hold his arms and I get down face to face. Shake him. I'm just kidding. And I just stand face to face with him and I have a conversation with him, because that is going to be more well received than me standing over him.
Mhm.
It's the same thing with contracts. Okay. When you're talking with your buyers, ask questions like this. So let's go back to that scenario we had, right, with the roof issue. So let me ask you this. Brian, what's your favorite thing about this house? Why do you feel like this house is the one?
I just like the big kitchen.
It is a beautiful kitchen. It is. Okay. So let me ask you this. What is the possibility of you being able to pay for the repair of this house and staying with your max loan budget of $155,000?
Probably could within a year get it repaired.
Okay. Okay. And what would happen tomorrow if we had a big storm and it started leaking? Where would that leave you financially?
I'd probably have to go to my parents' house.
Okay. And how would that make you feel?
Not good seeing that I just bought a house that I can't live in.
Okay, so it's just digging really deep with them and helping them figure out what they're gonna do, right? It's not talking at them, it's just asking questions to figure out what that would look like.
So do they get time to fix it before it's approved, or what do they have to do? Because he said in a year. Like when the appraisers come and says there is a.
It depends on their loan type. Yeah, it depends on their
So
loan
they can
type.
move in and
Yep.
then do the.
Depending on the loan. Depending on, VA, no. VA, everything has to be repaired and fixed before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just depends on the loan type.
Mhm.
Yeah, some conventional too. Some conventional loans aren't gonna approve it. Some FHA loans are. It just depends on the loan type and the lender. Mhm.
We found out with VA, it was, and then some, because when we bought our house in Michigan, there wasn't really anything wrong per se, but then they added in, well, you need a handrail here. And we had no idea that they added it in.
I had a VA appraiser make me put a whole new garage door on that was not even on any reports on anything. I had to buy it because I felt bad for my VA buyer
They're
that
the
was
worst.
stuck in a hotel. And I just bought it. I just sucked it up and bought it. I didn't have to, but I felt bad for him, and hey, he served our country. So, but I mean, so there is never a right or wrong and tried and true answer, right? I mean, I'm just going to tell you, you will be thrown things that you were like, what? Like, this came out of right field. Like, I wasn't even worried about this. I had a closing in a week and a half, and the VA appraiser came and said I couldn't have bars on the window. Never heard that before. 6 years in real estate. I had to call a guy to come in with a iron thing and take the bars off the window.
Do they come back and check?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Yeah, they'll come back and check everything. Mhm. I even had a VA appraiser one time tell me, and don't putty it. And legally he cannot say that to me, but he said, I don't want it puttied and you realtors trying to just take everyone's money and take advantage of our
Oh my gosh.
veterans. He goes, I want it all
Oh my
replaced.
gosh.
And legally, I took that to court. He
Yeah.
couldn't tell me that. But anyway,
Wow.
you will be
won?
surprised.
Oh my
We did.
goodness.
Yeah.
Me a praise.
oh.
Okay. And I want to close that out by saying, don't be afraid of VA. I have so many smooth VA loans.
Mhm.
Don't be afraid of them at all. Don't not accept them over something. I accept VA loans sometimes over conventional loans just because I want to. Don't let that, it's just like anything. You're gonna have some bad realtors, you're gonna have some bad VA appraisers, you're gonna have some sucky inspectors, you're gonna have some bad car salesmen. It's just like anything, you know. I didn't want that to come across that I was saying stay away, because don't. They could be great products.
When we got down here, we had several offers that were declined because we were a VA loan.
Yeah, and that's so sad because they
Yeah,
can be
that
really solid and sometimes people think, oh, it's gonna take extra time. That's not true.
Yeah,
That's not true.
that's not right.
Okay. Page 10, we went over this, presenting your offer.
Yep, we did.
This is the big thing I want to say. When you're presenting your offer to the buying agent, you're the buying agent, to the seller, to the selling agent, please do not call them and say, hey Tara, this is Amber. I showed your property at 321 Main Street. I'm sending an offer over. I know it's low, but let's see where we can go from here. You're already presenting your offer as just a crappy offer. And Tara may have already gotten 5 offers that were much lower than yours, and she might be really happy with yours. So I would not say anything. I would just say, I want you to know I'm sending an offer over. Let me know received. Also, do you notice I said, let me know received? And I let Tara know that I'm sending an offer over. Don't just send an offer over and not follow up on it, because some agents don't see it in their inbox. I've had that happen.
Yeah.
So let them know to be looking for it, but don't say that. I probably have people say that once or twice a month to me. I'm sending an offer over. I know it's not where we want to be, but so I'm already thinking, that's like when my kids come to me and say, I know you're going to say no, but well, that makes me want to say no to you. Like, get your negotiating skills up, buddy. Answer no. Page 11, position. Okay, let's say you have a buyer who wants to close at a different time. So the seller wants to close in 30 days, the buyer wants to close in 60 days, okay? So Miss Seller, you're requesting a 30-day closing. What is important about closing in 30 days? If your client gets defensive with you, just explain to them why you need to know. I'm just trying to present this so that you can get your house sold and get on to Texas, and your buyer can get moved into their house. I'm trying to create a win-win situation for us. So again, it goes back to asking questions. Why is that 60-day close important to you? Or why is that 30-day close important to you? Because understanding what's important to them and why helps utilize the information to get you to a close. Remember, that is your goal, to work with the buying agent, to work with the selling agent, to get to a close. So both of you get paid at the end of the day. Your client gets what they want. It is not to fight with each other and see who can, puff their chest out the farthest.
Yeah. I bought my house about 3 years ago, and I had a lease on my apartment for another 2 months or 3 months. And so I put in, I think, a 60-day close into the offer. The buyer came back wanting a 30-day close because she was going to be moving in with her new husband, boyfriend. And so she just wanted to get out of that house, and had already kind of moved in with him. So we settled on the in-between.
Yeah.
45.
You both have really important reasons why you needed that, right?
Yeah. So.
But here's what agents will do. Agents will see that 60-day close and be like, and tell their seller, no, we're not going to accept 60 days.
Yeah.
So they're not trying to work with both parties to see, well, why is that 60-day important to your buyer? Let's see what we can do. I don't feel like it's in the best interest of my seller, but let's see what we can do.
Well, sometimes it's the agent himself. He doesn't want to close.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But the other thing is, that's a great opportunity to introduce the additional escrow that's non-refundable. So instead of just accept, okay, great, Brian, you want to close in 60 days? We'll accept your 60-day close, but we would like an additional $4,000 in escrow after your due diligence period that's non-refundable. So that's locking Brian into making sure he closes with me in 60 days. If not, my seller at least got $4,000. So does that make sense? Nobody does it. I do it. Nobody does it. So, okay, I'll give you 60 days, but I want $4,000 of refundable escrow after due diligence period,
Yeah.
after 20 days or whatever.
I did that.
Think outside the box, you guys.
I did that before.
After the inspection, that's when the buyer can walk away.
During the inspection period, whatever the due diligence
Right.
period is, whether it's 10 days, 14 days, whatever you've agreed on, that's when they can walk away and get their escrow back.
And when can the seller walk away?
The seller, once they accept that contract, it's
Hard.
hard for a seller to walk away.
Okay, so it's not,
Mhm.
it's not easy like for the buyer.
Like the appraisal thing, they could walk away.
Yeah, if it didn't appraise.
Then they have the choice to walk away.
If it didn't appraise,
Mhm.
they could walk away. Do sellers walk away? Yes. Could they be taken to court? Yes. And probably lose? Yeah.
Mhm.
I've had one seller change their mind. Thankfully, the buyer, was upset but didn't push it.
That's when you say it's not meant to be.
Yeah, then you cry at your dining room table. Okay. Positioning. That's again, you can read that. Okay. Counterattacks. You guys, with these, with the nibbling, with the hot potato, the good guy, the bad guy, you can go over that. I just think that's a little cheesy. If anyone from Keller Williams Corporate is on here, I did not say that. But it's just talking about different tactics that people use. I'd rather just talk about some other real stuff instead of this nibbling and stuff. So you can go over that. Counter tactics of that, you can go over that. What, page 14. All right. All right, we're gonna do this. We're not gonna do both. We're gonna, two people that wanna volunteer. Brian, oh my gosh, did you raise your hand? Okay, Brian raised his hand. He didn't really. Okay, all right. So.
Sarah, come on, help me out.
Okay, so you're gonna be the buyer agent.
Okay.
Okay? And you're gonna be the selling agent, okay? So speak up so he can hear you, all right? So here's the deal, Brian. Your client has found the house they love and it's in the neighborhood that they want. It's at the top of their price range and does need some work updating the kitchen and master bathroom. Your client makes an offer on the property and the listing agent says, I must warn you that we have gotten several offers and your offer is pretty low, okay? What is your response to that, Brian? You can take a second.
Yeah. Well, I just want to let you know that my buyer is very serious about his interest in this property. And knowing that this property does need some repairs, the buyer is still very interested in going through with the offer and, you know, would like to see if any way you could make any concessions on the closing cost to make room for repair.
Okay, you just went a different direction with that.
Yeah, I just went a different direction, I know. There's some things in there that I'm like, it's as is, just, you know, it was good. Like I was on the rails and then I went off the rails.
Okay, so what is your response to that?
The roof. What does the roof have to, if he's working the kitchen and master bathroom?
Yeah, so just ignore that. He got a little nervous. I put him on the spot. Okay, so he's asking for closing costs to help with repairs, but his buyer is serious.
Okay. So, so I'm gonna say, can you go ahead and make the offer? And I will check with my seller and see if he is willing to cover your closing costs, but I don't guarantee you anything. At this point, I can just tell you we had several offers and we never know, maybe your offer will go through.
Yeah.
So,
So one of my recommendations, so 2 recommendations. So with that, Brian, I would say, if your client is submitting low offers, I would have them write a letter to the seller why this house is important to them.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
There's no need to say that they're serious. They wouldn't be writing an offer if they weren't.
Okay.
Okay? But why? Why is this house important to them? And then I would let the listing agent know, my buyer is really handy. The repairs don't scare them off. Would it be helpful if we shortened the due diligence period? What are other terms besides price are most important to your seller?
Yeah.
So ask them those questions, because it might not be price that is super important to her seller.
Yeah. I can see how I was kind of really focused on my buyer and not the seller when I answered.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
finding out.
questions. Because your initial reaction, and this is not just you, is going to be to defend your buyer. Instead of asking questions, what's important to the seller, which is what we just spent an hour talking about, questions, right? But it's just our natural human reaction is to want to defend and proposition ourselves, right? Or position ourselves to be in charge of the conversation. So that's what I would say. Questions is the name of the game. The name of the game is questions. Okay. All right. Okay, that's the ahas. I want to talk about writing an offer. The checklist to write an offer. You should have that checklist to write an offer. We went over preparing. Now the checklist to write.
of the prepare, because I'm going from home.
Prepare. I'm just going to go down these quickly because they are self-explanatory and the definitions are written out beside it. You want to consult with your buyer about writing an offer by going over the CMAs with them. You want to review the seller's disclosure to see if there are any deal breakers in there. You are going to run into the listing agent not giving you a seller's disclosure before writing the offer. It's okay, write the offer. But try to always get the seller's disclosure. But if it's a hot market right now and you don't have that seller's disclosure, don't let your buyer miss out on a property because you don't have the seller's disclosure, okay?
So the seller disclosure is really when you write the offer and they have to sign it.
No, an offer is an offer, a seller's disclosure. You should receive a seller's disclosure before writing an offer to look over it. But sometimes you don't. Yeah. Conveyances, think about anything that you saw in the home that you think might not convey or is going to be a problem and get clarification on that with the listing agent before. Earnest money, talk about that with your buyer, what they feel comfortable with. I always say, you know, typically earnest money is 1% of the purchase price. What do you feel comfortable putting up? If they say, well, I've got 500, they need to understand, and that should be in your buyer's consultation that you have with them, that they need earnest money. It's cash. It's going to be cashed as soon as they put the offer on the house, well, within 3 days.
On the sheet, they mean items, not times, right?
Where's that?
On conveyances, consider what items I'm assuming would be.
Yeah. 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 What items? Yeah.
Excuse me, Amber.
Yes.
I had a quick question about the with the seller's disclosure. If
Okay.
they don't have the seller's disclosure, should you put in the offer somewhere like contingent upon the seller's disclosure or
You can. I try to not write in the contract things like that.
okay.
Because then you're writing law. Because you can walk away at any point at that time still.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? What you could do is in the email where you send over the offer, because then it's written, and just say, you know, seller's disclosure expected, you know, in my hands within the next hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Or still awaiting seller's disclosure. I wouldn't personally write something like that in the contract.
Okay.
Great question though. Okay, that's earnest money. Time for seller acceptance. Be sure and specify when you want it accepted. There are times, like if I present an offer at 3 o'clock on today, Friday, I want an offer by noon on Saturday. I don't want to just give leeway. I'll write in noon on the contract. You can write in times. Doesn't mean they have to listen to it, but it's just putting a little pressure on them to make a decision. Financing terms, make sure that you understand those already. You got their pre-approval letter. I usually put that they are gonna apply for loan within 5 days on the contract. And then make sure your days line up for loan approval. A lot of times you're closing in 30 days and you've got loan approval for 30 days. Well, that doesn't work. Okay, so you've got to look at those things. There is a contract class. If you have not been to it, you should. If you've been to it once, you should go to it a second time. If you've been to it 2 times, you should go to it 3 times. This is people's hard-earned money that you are representing. Do not take it lightly. I've been doing this 7 years. I just went to a contract class.
Yeah.
Because you should. Okay.
Do you
Did
know
I
when the
mention
next
that
one-
you guys should go to the contract class?
I was just,
I don't know when it is.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Oh, good, okay. Yeah, I'll be there.
Closing date, make sure that the
Sure.
closing date works. I try to never close on a Monday or a Friday
No.
because stuff hits the fan on Fridays,
Yeah.
and then you're not gonna close till Tuesday, the next weekend. Monday, I try not to close because I like for people to be able to get their ish together to get my stuff to close. So Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays are my jam. Okay. Home warranty, if a home warranty is requested. Repair limits, that's mainly for the other contract, not the as-is contract. Special clauses or contingencies, if there are certain things that need to be written in, like the other day I made an offer on a home. I already saw that there was 2 door frames that were just they were eaten up by a dog. I wanted those replaced. So I wrote that in the additional terms. Contract contingent upon repair of door frames. I didn't wait for the home inspection because I knew up front I wanted that fixed. I've done it before when I've seen fascia on a roof that's just all jacked up. I'll write it. Additional terms, offer is contingent upon fascia being replaced.
And so my friend back in March sent me a copy of a contract. The contingency was, and all the toilet paper on the property as seen on property.
Toilet paper.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm not surprised. People were hard up for toilet paper then.
That's pretty funny.
Okay, and then I want to go over quickly reviewing an offer. You guys, this is just as important when you're on the receiving end of an offer to review it. Be sure that the address is correct on the house. That sounds like a no-brainer. You'd be surprised. Check the zip code. The address on a contract should not be what is on the realist or property appraiser. It should be what the post office has down for that address. Price, make sure that the price is in there correctly. Earnest money. Time for acceptance. Is there a pre-approval? Look at the loan approval date. Does it match up with your contract date? Financing terms. Is it an FHA loan and you're in a wood house that's about to fall down? Probably shouldn't accept this offer. Closing date. Would that work? Is it a viable 35 at least days? Unless it's a cash deal. Home warranty. Home warranty is on page like 6. It is a small box. I have snuck it in several times and a listing agent never saw it. Guess what? They signed the contract. They had to give my buyer a home warranty. They come back to me and said, well, we didn't agree to that. Oh, yes, you did. I checked the box on the contract. They didn't see it.
Oh, goodness.
So it is your job to check everything.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you there's some agents in this office that have had to buy home warranties because they didn't look at that page on the contract. They looked at the price, the closing date, and accepted it.
I had to buy a fridge one time.
Yeah.
So, I did. Yeah, I did. It was my
Conveyances,
fault.
go through the appliances, fixtures requested by the buyers. Make sure what conveys is accurate. Repairs that ours don't go in that order. Are there any special clauses? Did they ask for closing cost? Do you have the proper disclosures? Make sure that the seller has completed these documents and you've given those. And then possession date does not apply for us. In some states, they don't take possession on the day that they close. That's
Oh.
not us.
And for lead paint, that's what helps.
Lead paint is before 1978. Mhm.
78.
Yeah.
What is this position thing?
It doesn't apply to us. Yeah, it's not in the state of Florida. So some states, they don't take possession of the house on the day that they close.
Oh.
So they have a separate possession date.
Here they have a separate, different one.
Ours is the same. The day you close, you take the keys.
Oh, right, that's how it is, yeah,
Yeah.
unless you state otherwise in the contract,
Right.
yeah. Okay, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
well, wait a minute, did I miss something here?
No,
That's why I need to do a contract class, because they're so different.
yes. And I just
So
love
different.
contract classes because
Yeah.
you get comfortable too, even
Yeah.
after being in real estate for
You
a
you
while.
really need to know them,
Yeah.
especially when you have someone that wants to read everything and explain everything
Yeah.
to you.
Okay, so financial basics. You can have this and you can go over it. I'm not going over it with you. Okay. I'm gonna just give you a couple of tips with this, okay? This is great. This is great. They did a great job with this. I'm not saying it's not great, okay? This is great information. What I feel is the most important thing for you to do are the things that I'm gonna share with you, okay? The thing is that you can read this. This is what you cannot read. So here's the problem with real estate. You're gonna go weeks and months maybe without making money, okay? Some of you might come in with a listing right away. Some of you might come in with a buyer right away and make a check, okay? And then what typical realtors do is they go and spend all that money. They don't pay their expenses. They don't put money aside, all the things, right? If you're guilty of it, that's fine. We can always be learning, right? Always be closing, always be learning. So I feel very passionate about teaching you to manage your money well with this business. And there are a couple of things that you have to do in order to do that. And you should do it before my Take It to the Bank class in November. I don't think they've set a date yet. But you have to have a budget for your business And you have to have a budget for your personal life. I know it's not fun. It's not a fun B word, but it is imperative. You are a business owner as a realtor. Do you understand that? You are a business owner. Because of that, you have to act like a business owner. And guess what? Business owners that are successful don't bury their head in the sand and not know where their money is going in and out. They know where the ebb and flow is of their money, correct? If not, they are closed. I know many business owners that are not making money. I know so many, they're not even paying themselves because they don't run it correctly. The typical way that business owners, that used to be really the popular thing is income minus expenses is what you pay yourself, okay? So I minus E is your profit, is P. I truly believe that you should operate your business on I minus P equals E. So your income, what you're bringing in, minus what you pay yourself is what you have left to spend on your expenses. As a new realtor, you are going to be bombarded with, oh, you've got to buy these signs. You've got to buy these lock boxes. You've got to buy these leads. You've got to, no ma'am, no sir, none of the above, okay? Get yourself one lockbox when you have your listing. If you don't have any listings, don't go buy a lockbox. I also have a lockbox. I would be happy to let you borrow when you have your first listing.
How about the Supra?
That's what I'm talking about.
I had to go get the Supra because I had an open house with the Supra.
Oh, you mean, you're talking about the key?
Yeah.
The
Oh, well, you
that's
need
different.
that. You
Yeah.
can't show houses.
Yeah.
That's $15 a month.
Yeah.
I'm talking about an actual super lockbox.
The lockbox.
Don't go buy a lockbox.
Yeah,
I
they're-
just buy the $13 one.
Yeah, you
The
have
lady
to.
was
It's almost
like-
100 in Georgia.
Well, you have to. You can't show houses without the
Right.
Supra.
Yeah, everybody.
You
wants
gotta
to
be
have
able
it.
to
Oh,
show
yeah,
houses.
Supra, I understand.
That's an
Yeah.
expense.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, don't go buy 2 or 3 lock boxes ready to get all these
No.
listings you're gonna get.
No.
I'll be happy to let you borrow one, okay? And you pay me back after your, not pay me back, but you go buy one after your closing.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there's just things that are gonna be thrown at you. You don't need to do it. You do not need to be at these meetings buying raffle tickets. You have no money, okay? You are brand new. So don't get caught up in our meetings. They're going for a good cause. I'm not saying that.
Mhm.
But you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
you need to be
yeah.
very purposeful.
Yeah.
You are building a business.
Mm.
You don't need to be going to a bunch of events at the DeBar that cost you money to
Right.
attend.
Yeah.
You need to be
That's right.
building your business, and that is investing in yourself. With that being said, you don't need all these fancy signs. You don't need $300 business cards. Nobody even looks at your business card except for you and your mom, because she's really proud of you for getting your license. Okay? So you just need the free cheap business cards. You need a headshot. It does need to be professional. I don't want to see you in your car as your headshot, but you don't have to go pay $300 for a headshot. Start with the basics, you guys. You don't need an office here. You've got this area in here. You've got these people at home. They've got their office. You don't need an office right now. Okay? Don't look like you're living large when you're barely have gas money to get to your showings. And I'm not joking with that because I know where agents have been. Okay? Taxes are important to acknowledge. They are going to be there. You have to pay them. Okay? So why I say that is it's really important to create a rhythm and flow for your business. And if you cannot handle $50, you will not be able to handle $5,000, $10,000. I legit believe that. So you've got to get your account set up correctly, but you need to know your budget. So I know that my husband and I, he has his part of we have the same accounts, but we have our budget. So I know for me to live the lifestyle that I'm accustomed to living at this time, that I need to contribute 5,000 towards our budget. Like that's what I contribute every month towards our budget, okay? And then he has what he has to contribute. All the extras, great, that goes to savings, okay? In that budget though is savings, is retirement. Guess what? You are a business owner, you have no retirement. Do you want to be an 80-year-old real estate agent slinging houses? Shake your head no. Nobody shook their head no. You don't. You want to be able to retire. You don't have retirement. Do you understand? Raise your hand. No one gave you retirement when you walked in here. Okay. If they did, it's a new feature. Okay. So you have to plan for that. And I know I sound like I'm being so like simple, but it is complicated because nobody does it. And then that's why you see agents that are 85 selling real estate with business card pictures from when they were 40, and you don't recognize them because they don't have retirement. So you've got to be smart about these things, you guys. Go set up an IRA, a Roth IRA. Go set up a Roth IRA. Put $5 a month in it if that's all you have. But you've got to start somewhere. $5 a month, you guys. You can find $5. It sounds silly, but that's a start. Taxes. Every single check that you get, you should be putting aside at least 20% to go to your taxes. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me preface this. I am not a licensed accountant or attorney. Anything that I say is not from a legal or professional perspective. Okay. I personally put 20% aside for taxes. Every single check, whether the check is $800 for a little rinky-dink condotel, or whether it's $10,000 from $1 million listing, I put that aside. You cannot say to yourself, here is where the first detriment of your business will come into play, is when you say, just this one check, I need all this. Don't do that, because you are setting yourself on a downward spiral to not run your business like a business. You do not see the owner of the Chick-fil-A on the corner taking out a petty cash. That is what you are doing. You are creating a disaster for your business. And I say that because I've been doing this for 7 years, and do you know how many agents I see come in and come out? That they can't pay their MLS fees, they can't pay their $13 Supra, and they don't have gas to go from showing to showing. So that's why I say that that's more important than me going over the Section 8 with you. Because if you can't manage your first check, then you will not be in this business in a year from now. True story. So you need to set up proper banking accounts. You need to set up a Roth IRA. And I don't care if you're putting $5 in it. You need to do it. You need to be setting at least, that 20% aside for taxes so that you can pay those. You need to go through your bank account and look, what can I take off your personal account? Have you been to the gym in 4 months, 3 months, 1 month? Take it off. You don't need it. Do you need all of those cable subscriptions? No. Right now you need to invest in your business. So take those off. Do you need to go out 3 nights a week to eat? No. I sat in the Publix parking lot yesterday and ate lunch from Publix. And I got money. I don't need it. I don't need to go eat at those fancy restaurants every time or take out. No. Bring a sandwich from home. Yeah. You have to make these choices. You get very caught up, you guys, in looking like you're successful, is why I'm saying this. Oh, let's go meet it. Let's go eat, grab a bite, and we'll talk about that contract or whatever. It gets really easy to get caught up in the rigmarole. And I want you to be here a year from now, is why I'm telling you this. So in the Take It to the Bank class, we will go over I have 5 accounts for my business. I do Money Monday. Every Monday, I open up all of my business accounts, personal and business, and I know what's coming in and out of all of those accounts. Mm-hmm. Because guess what? A successful business person looks at their money really every day. But on Money Monday, I do all my receipts. I do all of that.
Do you have
Every day.
business accounts or?
I have 5 business accounts and then I've got personal. And I'll go over all those at the Take It to the Bank class. But it's just important, you guys, if you do not treat this like a business, you will not be here in a year. You won't. Or you'll be like half of these agents that don't make money because they're not spending it and saving it and operating their business like a business. I mean, and that's just attrition. Like that's with any business, right? The ebb and flow of it, but you've got to treat it like a business, and that means managing your money and not putting your head in the sand. I guarantee if I went through this office of 150 agents and asked who has budgets, maybe 15 to 20 has budgets.
Wow.
And then out of that 15 to 20, if I said who checks their budgets, probably me. I'm just kidding. There's probably maybe 10 out of that 15 to 20. You've got to address it. And I've been there. I've had my electricity cut off. I have. I've worked 3 jobs to make it, so I get it. That's why I feel like I can be really passionate and speak about it, because I've lived with having my lights cut off a long time ago. It's not fun. So that's why I really feel like it's important for you to treat this like a business. So what I'd like for you to do between now and the Take It to the Bank class, and I'll get with Vincent and get that on the schedule, but is to do your research. What banks are offering free checking? You cannot operate your business from your personal checking account.
Credit
and if that's your plan, it's not a good plan, because you will not be able to deduct things from your taxes if it's into your personal account. I'm not saying you have to go set up an LLC or anything right now. You don't need to do that. I did that after my first year in business. I set up an LLC, but you do need to get your, what is it? PA, your professional association. That doesn't cost that much money. I can't tell you how to do that. You can Google it, or have your accountant do it for you. But that way you're protected. If anything happens with your business, you're protected with that PA, because the check is being written to your PA, your professional association, not you. Okay.
Are they separate checking accounts? Are they just under your name, or are they under like a business name?
They're under your, well, both. So they're going to be under your name.
Right? Because a lot of banks don't offer free business checking. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, they don't, but that's what I'm saying. Do some research, because they're still out there. Reunion Bank that's where mine are, which is coming into Center State Bank. So do some research and see what's out there. You can do, like I have 5 accounts, you can do them all personal, except for the one I put all my checks in is a business account, because it's written to my LLC. It has to be a business.
So which bank do you suggest?
I'm not going to suggest a bank. I personally use Center State Bank. Center State Bank, but do your research. They were just bought out, so I don't know what they offer anymore.
Okay.
Research a Roth IRA. What does that look like? I have a financial advisor, but when I first started, I used Ameritrade online. I opened the account online. Ameritrade, they offer free trades. And I just set it up straight to my checking account to have $5, $10 transferred every month. With Keller Williams, you have profit share, right? So if you share the real estate opportunity with anyone and they decide to come to Keller Williams, I know people that are making $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month just from their profit share. I would recommend that you put that that goes directly into your Roth IRA. When I get my profit share, I don't even know what it is. It goes directly to my Roth IRA. Because guess what? If it goes into your checking account, you're going to spend it. And it's money you didn't even do anything for. It's residual money. You shouldn't even be looking at it. So I put that, it's a direct deposit straight into my Roth IRA. I never even see it. So that's why the direct, getting it transferred automatically. Here's the other thing I want you to just kind of process and think about. So you can cap here, right? So you can cap. So when I capped in May. At that point, I automatically have them transfer that extra 30% into my IRA. Because I'm
That's a
already,
good idea.
I'm already used to not making it, you
That's a great
guys.
idea. I like
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that idea.
I just
Never thought
started
about
that last year.
I know, that's a good idea.
Because I'm already used to not having
Yeah,
that.
I like that idea a lot.
So why,
Mhm.
you know? I mean, I think that's genius.
No, it is.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a great aha right there.
Yeah, Brian.
I just had a question. Is it the first 60,000 in commission that you make that you meet that 18% cap? Is that how that works?
70/30 is when you have paid into the market center 18,000 plus your 6,000 royalty, then you cap. So after
Okay.
that, you make 100%.
So it's basically on the first 60,000 in commission that you make ish. If you do times
Yeah.
0.3.
Yeah, it depends on your GCI.
Okay.
My first year, I did not cap. I've capped every other year. Like my cap starts over in May. I just capped last month.
Probably around like maybe like 10 to 12 kind of like houses you cap.
It depends on the price point of the house.
Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of determine.
Okay.
But guys, go ahead and be thinking about that, because if you don't have a plan, you will fail.
Mhm.
So if you already say, hey, when I hit that cap, I'm going to get them to start putting that 30% straight into my IRA. It's just really smart to do.
Interest on the IRA?
Huh?
You get interest?
With the Roth IRA? Yeah. Well, it depends on how you divide it up into your funds. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, okay. So those are just my tips. So what I would love to know, like I would love for you to let me know, hey, I did my budget. I went through, I took out anything that I don't need right now.
I do that all.
Okay. And then get a business. You know, it doesn't have to be business right now if you can't go that route, but just at least get a checking account set up for your business. You cannot be putting it in your personal account with all your other bills. You just won't be able to claim tax deductions legally. And then at the Take It to the Bank class, I'll talk about how to divide everything up. Okay?
Do you have
Yeah.
any tips on the leads?
On what?
On leads, how to get leads? Like
When I first started with leads, I did open houses. I did 2 open houses on Saturdays, 2 open houses on Sundays.
Wow,
I door knocked.
2 open houses.
Well, yeah, because I
Each
didn't
day?
want to pay for leads. That's free.
That's awesome. No, that's great.
I door knocked every
That's
open
great.
house, at least
Yeah.
15 to 20 houses.
Mhm.
Um,
That's awesome.
that's free.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
So when you did
That's
the open
awesome.
houses, anybody who came in, you took that information and just followed up with them?
Yeah.
And did you do like door knocking before the open house,
I did the day before.
the day before?
Mhm.
So like if I have an open house on Sunday, it should go Saturday and.
Yeah, so I would just go door knocking and say, hey, my name is Amber. I always say this because it's just my personality. I'm like, I promise I'm not wanting a Bible study or selling anything. I just want to let you know that I am holding an open house at your neighbor's house. And I typically find that the neighbors often know someone looking to get into this neighborhood. Do you have anyone that you could think of? And then I just shut up. And they're trying to shove the door closed. They're trying, I just sit there and smile. And if they say no, I'll say, well, listen. Or they might say, I think someone's saying, great. What is your email address? And I have a little clipboard. What's your email address? And I'm going to send you the info for the open house so you can forward it to anyone that you can think of. What did I just do? I captured their info. I now have their email. I have their address because I'm standing in front of it. So now I have enough to create a contact in my system.
So what would you do with it? After you send them the email, would you follow up with them? Because they weren't looking to buy or.
Oh yeah, I follow up with people. They hang up on me. I just keep calling them. Yeah. They're telling, no, they don't want to buy a house. They're not telling me no. They're just saying, no, I don't want to buy a house. But no often means not right now. It doesn't mean forever. So the key is follow up. You are not going to sell a house to the first person on the first phone call. You're not going to sell it after you've talked to them 5 times, but you might sell them a house in 2 years when you continue to follow up with them.
So can I ask you a little bit of a personal question? When you first started, did you have a part-time job?
No, I saved up money before I got my real estate license to have
So
3
then you
months
could-
saved up.
Okay.
Yes. Do I recommend you getting a part-time job? Yes, if it is going to keep you from being stressed.
Yeah, I have a part-time job right now.
Okay, so I kind of have a different mentality than a lot of people. They feel like you should. For me, I went all in. I went full-time. It drives me crazy to work on the other side of agents that have full-time jobs because they don't get back to me in a timely and efficient manner because they're at their full-time job, and it drives me crazy. But I do understand the necessity of it, and I would much rather someone have a part-time job and have a clear mind instead of being so stressed about where their next meal is coming from than to trying to do this on their own without any other extra income coming in, because I find that if you are that way, you shut down.
Yeah.
And you will not do well.
So I guess that falls into my next question would be, like, when do you think?
When you have
save-
3 months saved up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. If you can live off of like 3 months savings,
Then,
then I feel like you could quit your job. Yeah. Yeah. Other people will tell you different. I do not want to have any like rose-colored glasses. This is a hard business. And it's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
So I am Pollyanna for everything, but you want to be prepared. So I would say 3 to 6 months of savings,
Okay.
because you're going to have those dry months. But here's the beauty: when you manage your money correctly, so let's say I have 5 closings in a month and I'm only used to having 2, I don't just go spend that extra money like a lot of people do. Like, oh, actually, let's go do this. No, I still just take out the same amount. I pay myself twice a month, just like I would if I had a JOB, Journey of the Broke job working for somebody else. I pay myself on the 1st and the 15th, just like I am a boss paying myself. Where a lot of agents pay themselves every time they close. I don't do that because you don't have a boss anywhere else that's going to pay you every time you want money. So I don't do that.
And for the open houses, when would you suggest like the best time when you want to set up an?
I just can't tell you that. I mean, open houses are a crapshoot. Open houses are a crapshoot. So you might have an open house on a Saturday at 2 and you get 10 people, and you might have it the next weekend on a Saturday at 2 and you get no people. There's no rhyme or reason. No rhyme or reason. The key is just to hold them continuously. Yeah, it's free leads. This is your job. So when agents tell me, oh, I'm going to send an open house, what else are you doing? I'm sorry, I thought you were a realtor. So I just like, I don't get it.
During the week?
Yeah, do it, girl.
Okay.
Do it.
Which is good. 'Cause
I would
it's
do it
doing
like, if I
all
were
the
going to do it
time.
during the week, I'd do it like from 4 to 6 on a Thursday on a busy roadhouse.
Okay.
Don't go do an open house for these agents out here that are asking for people to do an open house. You should say, why don't you want to do your own open house? Oh, because it's a crappy listing that's been for sale for a year? No, I don't want to hold your open house. Look at the house. How
Okay,
long
you
has it
pick
been?
your own house?
Yeah.
I picked through the list and the one that I like.
Yeah, do it. But I would look, is it on a busy road? Is it priced correctly? How long has it been for sale? If it's already been for sale for 4 months, you're wasting your time. I wouldn't go sit at that open house. No, don't do that. You got to do the research on the house.
See how long it's been.
Don't let
Yeah.
these agents trick you into doing their open houses on crappy houses.
Mhm.
No, I go through the list and.
They
then I
do.
pick the-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame them. I'm just saying, don't waste your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pick new, fresh, hot, make sure it's priced correctly. If it's overpriced, you're not gonna have anybody come, you guys. Don't go do it. That's why you gotta research it.
Yeah, she had just said that, I think. Who was it? One of the,
Sure.
yeah, said the same thing. Yeah, I know
Sherry,
that.
yeah.
I did an open house on Sunday, nobody came in, but actually when I got to the house, I was like, I would not have done an open house in this house.
Yeah, and go check it. Go check it before. You gotta go preview it. And I have houses all the time that nobody comes, and that's okay. That's okay. But the next one, know your law of averages too. Like I know I probably got to hold 10 open houses to get one really good solid lead. So if you know your numbers, then you're not upset. I don't sit there and look on my phone during an open house. I bring note cards to write. I just make use of all my time.
Okay.
So they're not a waste of time. So when I hear agents say, oh, that was a waste of time. No, it wasn't, because I got all my note cards written. I got my postcards mailed out. I got my sellers presentations ready for the next week.
So we don't have to do postcards now because we're new.
No, I'm just talking about even just postcards, mailing them out to people I know. Hey, I'm in real estate, that sort of thing.
Oh, we don't do the farming thing.
I
so you have
do,
to spend-
but I didn't when I first started.
So when do you guys start doing that?
When you have money to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm not being a smart aleck. When you have money to do it.
Right, yeah. No, she's being.
When
she's
you're
practical.
continually paying
Practical.
yourself, right now you all have, it looks like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You all have 12 legs. You all have 12 hands. You can door knock.
Yeah.
It's free. Go do it. I did not want to pay for leads when I could go door knock and do it myself.
So when you door knock, let's say you're door knocking to see if people are looking for a house or thinking to sell a house, what do you don't look desperate when you go door knocking?
You look desperate if you think you do.
Okay.
It's all mindset.
Okay.
Here's my thing. I could care less what anyone thinks behind that door. None of those people pay my bills. You don't pay my bill. I don't care if you like me right now. You don't pay my bills, right? The person on the other phone doesn't pay my bills. Nobody pays my bills but me. I'm my husband. So but it's all mindset, you guys. Sales is mindset. So the only reason that I'm successful in real estate, I've been successful in direct sales in 2 different companies, is because I could care less what the other person thinks about me.
You gotta have thick skin.
You do.
You really
And
do.
when they say no, I say great, next.
Yeah.
And that's mindset. It's not, I didn't come out with that. I used to cry. I'm like, oh, okay. But now I just don't care because guess what? None of them paid my bills. They don't. They don't put food on my table. They don't pay for all my kids' crap. So it really just has to be a mindset shift. It 100% does.
And when you're door knocking, you just bring business cards with you.
Yeah.
Do you have any? Yeah.
I just bring a business card.
And it's
Yeah.
something to write down.
I just bring a little clipboard and just try to get their email address. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you're familiar with what's going on in your neighborhood as far as the sales are concerned. I just would love to mail you something so you know what's happening as far as the real estate market in your neighborhood.
Mhm.
Everybody wants to know. You guys, people go up to give their email address to everyone.
Yeah.
I'm not saying every single person is going to give it to you, but
A lot of people
gosh,
have
if you
spam emails
if
too.
you door knock 15 and you get one email address from it, was that worth it?
Yeah.
To me, it is.
Yeah,
That's
it
how
is.
you build your database.
It sure is. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
So
what do you do with the people that you get the information? How do you follow up with them that we're not looking to do anything?
I just follow up. I follow up every 3 days, 5 days, 1 month, 6 months, 1 year.
So you just say, hey, this is.
Yeah, I met you a long time
Do you
ago,
use
door
Command
knocking.
When you do that, or do you have?
I don't. I have another system I use at this point. But yes, Command is what you would use.
Okay.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
Right, it's free, yeah.
If it's free, it's for you.
And it's
Yes.
good. I like it.
And it's good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's just follow up. It's just a phone call. If you're obnoxious and a salesperson, they will know that. I just call, hey, I'm checking in. Last time we heard you couldn't really talk because you were running out the door to get your son to basketball. Is he still playing basketball? Like I write notes about everything in there. And they'll hang up on me. That's okay. Guess what? I'm gonna call them in a month.
Mhm.
Hey, just checking in. I'm not gonna act like they hung up on me a month ago.
And they won't even know you when you call
They
them back.
don't know.
They're
you.
talking to so many
I've talked
agents.
to 5 agents.
Yeah, I have no
I haven't
idea
run
who
to
you
a home
are.
inspection, but yeah, they don't know, you guys. This business is so simple. We make it hard because we care about what other people think. Don't care. Don't care about what any of these agents think. Don't care about what any of these people think. If you're professional, if you learn your trade and not just coast and really educate yourself and learn it and stop caring what other people think, you can do this business and treat it like a business. Treat it like a business. That's huge. So, All right, well, thanks for coming. I hope
Thank you.
I'm not like a train wreck for you guys.
No, you were
I know I'm kind of like all over the place, but,
Thank you.
Do you do cold calling?
yeah, girl, I cold call all day long. Yeah. By the end of the day, I'm like, oh, my brain is just done because people have been mean to me all day. Okay, well, next, sorry. Enjoy your crappy life and you're so negative. I mean, you just have to, it's a decision.
Okay.
They don't affect me. Am I like Miss Happy and Chipper when I get done being hung up on all day? No. But,
When you cold call, you just pick a section in white pages. I mean,
well,
but-
no, I have leads that I pay for at this time in my business. So I do cold call those leads.
but like for-
For you, I would say, I would go out and be handing out my business cards to people. Go hand out your cards.
Yeah.
I would get involved in some type of group somewhere. I get in Facebook groups, but you guys, open houses. I didn't do a lot of cold calling when I first started. I really did open houses, and then I built my sphere. I got involved in the community.
Mhm.
Guess what? Nobody is in your house on your couch that wants to buy a house. Do you understand that? If you're just sitting in your living room, nobody's there that wants to buy a house. So get out of your house, go get involved in the community, go get involved in a group. I know you just moved here. Go find a sphere. Go get involved. You're not gonna have a sphere with your current friends, you know?
Right.
You need new people. Your current friends are gonna think of you.
Can you, like, I take my kids to the gymnastics. How can I introduce, they know me, but they don't know what I do, because they never ask anybody, what do you do?
Yeah.
So how do I introduce myself? Just,
Communication and talking to people, asking them questions. Guess what? When I meet somebody and I say, "Oh my gosh, what do you do?" "Oh, well, you know, I work at a doctor's office." "Wow, that's awesome. What doctor's office?" "Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you, how can I help you build your business?" And they'll say, "Well, I don't know." It always turns back around to, "Well, what do you do?" Be a question asker. It all goes back to questions, not, "Oh, let me tell you about me and what I do." It's, if you ask people questions and show a genuine interest in them, they will show a genuine interest back in you. And I'm not going to tell you that you're going to go meet 5 people at the gym and ask them what they do and them all be nice and ask you, but if one did, would that be worth your time?
yeah.
It's numbers. It's numbers.
Finding an opening to talk to someone too. I started talking to the lady behind me in line when I went to vote. Found out she's a Keller Williams agent at Keller Williams Heritage.
That's awesome. Yeah. But you guys, if you're running around on your phone and you're in line like that and you're on your phone, you're not meeting people. A salesperson, like when I walk into a room, I would think that probably 90% of the people could guess that I'm in sales because I'm looking at them. I look them in the eye. I talk to them. My kids are like, "Could you not talk to everybody?" And I'm like, "No, I have to. It is my duty." But you know, but if you're walking around with your head down and on your phone, which half of America is, then you're not going to meet new people. You're not.
You don't come up to like aggressive, like when you're like, every time you, I'm just trying to have a different.
I never talk about business with them. I'm genuinely wanting to say, "Oh my gosh," like women, I compliment them. I love those shoes. And they're like, "Oh, well, thanks." Because nobody says anything nice to people. Nobody's nice to people. Nobody looks at them in the eye. They're all on their phone. So I never talk about real estate.
It is kind of weird sometimes if you take yourself out of that to see how many other people are in there. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's strange.
Look at it today. It's really like, have you seen the movie WALL-E? That's where we're going.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
So I never talk about real estate. I'm just meeting
So how
people.
do you introduce yourself at the end? You just
I said,
say
"Well, we
your-
should get together sometime. Here's my card. Do you have a card?"
That's it, so they have your card now, the new card.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not gonna, I'm not gonna have people falling at my feet calling me. But if I've talked to 50 people in a month, am I gonna get one thing from it? Probably. Yes, you will. Maybe not that month, but you will. I've had someone call me after a year saying, I met you one time at the park. I don't know if you remember, but I have your card. I'm like, I don't remember, but how fun. How can I help you? I mean, that doesn't happen all the time. Like, there's no magic bean. But if you are actively looking for people, people will find you. I truly believe that. You know? I have to go, you guys.
Yeah,
But-
thank you.
Listen, at the Take It to the Bank class, I can come early and we can ask me these questions. And, or if you can just call me and say, Amber, I had this question.
I want to ask you about the lead company you're using.
The what?
The lead company you're using. What's the name?
Well, I'm not going to share what I use, but there's lots of them out there. So,
That's competition.
yeah, I mean,
Right, that's true.
there's lots of them out there.
Mhm.
I don't think you need it though.
No, yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
It's just.
I just-
No,
I run a
people are
team,
using
so I have to give
Oh,
out
you do?
leads to buy. That's why I do it.
Mhm.
I still work my own business and my sphere. That's why I do leads,
Oh.
because I run a team for buyer's agents. So I need to give them leads. So I didn't do that till this year. You don't need that. You got your feet, you got your hands.
It's just, I come from a mindset that opportunity comes by meeting people and trying leads, right? And in the real estate, finding leads, having so many leads,
If-
that's how you increase your
I'm
opportunity.
gonna
of
tell you,
sales.
if you don't have $2,000 a month to spend on leads,
Mm.
then you shouldn't be buying leads.
So
A
that
good
Red
lead,
X
a
and
good
those,
lead system.
Places they offer, like, it's cheaper.
Red X is okay.
No, like. there's
Red X
so
is
many of
okay.
them, but like some of them.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
like
like
Red X.
2,000, it's like, sometimes it's 100, sometimes it's $80, a month.
You get what you pay for.
Okay, so you mean that the high price after you.
Also too, you can get free for sale by owner leads just on Zillow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Zillow, but last time I went to Zillow and so many of them actually ended up, the MLS, but Zillow doesn't remove them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you have to-
calling people from Zillow, but.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to like talk to them.
Okay.
A lot of
That
times
was a
you could,
crapshoot,
you,
too.
you could even go on you could even just have the Flex MLS opened up
Okay.
and yeah, too as well, yeah.
But
For sure,
I,
you're gonna get a couple
yeah,
of those.
but I would just tell you guys, like,
And that way
open house.
it's free. You don't-
stray
you don't
away
have to
from
pay
that
anything
at
for
first.
Okay.
I don't know about that, but anyway.
I just would use my own resources. I would get involved in my community. The only reason I buy leads is because I have to get them out. You know how to do this. You just have, it's like pounding the pavement. It's just hard work, but it's worth it to develop your sphere, develop and put your name out there. Those people are gonna relate to you better than cold calls that you're making off the leads that you purchase. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to shut that down.
No.
Hear my heart. I'm just saying you can do this on your own with your body. It's a little bit weird, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like go door knock, go to your open houses, get involved in your community, that sort of thing.
Can you knock on doors for people who have for sale by owner?
Sure.
Knock on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody go anywhere.
Yeah, I gotta go run to it.
Oh,
Okay.
that's so nice.
I'll see you in a little
Thank you
bit.
guys
so
for
much.
sitting through
Thank
that.
you.
See you later. Oh, I still
Yeah.
listen.
I'm just going for Nicole. Be right back.
Oh, that's so sweet of you.
Can I have my name tag?
I don't see it in like Brandy's desk, and I texted her, but she didn't respond back
Okay.
yet. But definitely by Monday for sure.
Okay.
I don't know what she keeps. I should probably. Let me see if. Where's Robin and oh, they left already.
They already left.
Oh, Robin, you're still here.
Others left.
Okay. Just give us 1 second, but stay on.
So many of these lead places though, are, they, especially now, they're so expensive.
What?
I said some of these
Oh,
lead
that's
services are just ridiculously expensive now. I used to use one. a while back, and
Yeah.
I used to get listings from it. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. But hardly anybody was using it, and this was before the market was kind of tight. And once the market started getting better, agents started buying it, and they started like doubling the price, and now I just get the shittiest, I mean, I hate to say that, but the crappiest leads from them. The crappiest, I don't know, it's
Yeah.
awful. It's like, man, I grabbed you guys when you were brand new and when no one was, I mean, I would get this all the time. It was crazy. Now that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen anymore. It's like,
So as you guys know, we were all running a promotion for Ignite classes this month. And if you attended all the classes, you get like a free gift at the end of it that would help your business. And also we kind of wanted to award you with a couple of certificates over here.
It's
too.
graduation
So-
day!
Yes,
Yay!
totally. So Dolan, this one's for you.
that's sweet. Y'all are sweet.
And don't worry, Robin, we have one for you as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yay,
Thank you
Robin!
so much.
And as the free gift, we're just gonna give you one big open house sign and one small one as
And I'm
well.
getting an open house, so that's
Yay.
perfect.
Of course.
Thank you so much. That comes in handy right now, so.
Yeah.
Thank you
And I was
so
hoping that we
much.
could get like a group picture too with you guys. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's really nice.
Thank you.
We appreciate you guys pouring yourself into learning, so.
Definitely, yeah.
And Robin's online, she's also graduating.
Yes.
Hi, Robin, congratulations.
Hi, thank you.
Here's your signs.
Okay. Pick it up.
Definitely. Robin and Tara too. You guys could
Oh,
both
Tara
stop by.
too?
No Tara's on
She
that?
left.
Oh, she left.
You can stop by my office and you can pick up your free gift as well.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Yes,
So
it
we're gonna
is.
do a picture.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
wanted somebody to come take it.
Very nice. This one.
Oh, just one. These are nice.
Oh, wait.
They are.
Yeah,
She only had two.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
I have
did
one.
they go with?
Yeah, there's two.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I have
Two per
I have a
person.
bunch of open signs in Georgia, but that's not gonna help me here.
No.
But no, just generic ones, you know?
Yeah.
I got some that say KW, I'll have to bring them here now. Now that I'm with KW, I'll have to go back and bring all of them here, because I can use them.
That way it helps you with your business. You know, some open house.
Oh, sure, of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for attending all the classes too.
Maybe could you, with your certificate?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Sure.
Oh, we're.
Isn't that what you said? Picture of all?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, no, they said for us to be in it. We don't have to be.
Oh, you want us to just be here? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted us to stand.
No, we do up here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
We're not going over here.
One of my gym clothes is actually.
You graduated.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, should we have a
It's an important certificate and you'll definitely use it
Oh, yeah.
in all your coming dates.
For sure,
Yeah, don't take my feet.
Squeeze in.
We good.
Oh, wait a minute, let me get an open house then.
Oh, yeah.
You want one?
I get a small one too, yeah.
Point towards me.
There we go.
There's a go in a little bit. There we go. 1, 2, 3. One. 1.
Now she knows how to take pictures, see that? Do we have to make faces? Is that what we're supposed to do?
I took myself pictures.
Oh.
Okay, last one. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, thank you.
All right, thank you.
That's going on.
I know. Like, you made my cry.
I know for her.
But for real, congratulations, guys.
Yes, great job, guys.
You guys did awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
Awesome.
That's so nice.
Now we
So
should
what was
bring
your,
you.
what was your favorite class?
Yeah.
They
I-
all equally had very.
Yeah.
Very stuff.
Yeah.
They all had good stuff. They all had a lot to offer. I feel like they really did. I really like the first one a lot.
Which was that,
Um,
what, in your mind?
Carl with the
Marketing.
lead gen and, yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I really love
Oh,
that.
that's awesome.
That's
Okay.
one of my favorite ones, but I like them all. I feel I got something from all of
Oh,
them.
that's fantastic.
Yeah, from all of them.
Yeah.
One day you guys will be teaching it too.
Well, I mean, because I already know a lot of this stuff, but it was nice, it's nice just to see it from a different perspective.
Absolutely.
And also too, things are different in Florida than they are in Georgia,
That's true.
contract. Like I was telling Amber, I said, I really need to take a contract class to really
Yes.
know, because these contracts are very different from the ones in
That's true.
Georgia. I mean, they're like night and day, so not like night and day, but
No,
they're
but they're-
different in a
They
lot
have
of
their own
ways.
little nuances.
And then
yeah.
a lot of the buyer information was really good with presenting the offers and stuff, because a lot of that stuff is different as well too, so.
Right.
Yeah, so we have a
I didn't-
contract class coming up next,
Yep, it's gonna be November 10th. That's gonna be the next
Yeah,
one.
definitely
so-
will do that.
so
for
those
sure.
are, never miss those, that's for
Mhm.
sure.
It's gonna be the same day as the team meeting, so it'll be a lunch and learn too. We're gonna
Yeah.
have you RSVP for a box lunch, and then you'll have your lunch, and Leapor will come in, the managing broker, and go over all those contracts for you with any questions that you have too, feel unanswered.
That's good, that's good.
Cool stuff.
Great
We're gonna
job,
be
Brian,
bringing-
congrats.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right.
And we should be bringing back Ignite, the Spark version of it in January, right after the holidays, so stay tuned for all that.
But there's some, if they needed to review something, they could look online.
Yeah, I have the videos too
There's
from
some
previous
that,
class.
if you wanted, go look at certain ones,
Right.
Yeah, I know, you can get on, there was a way you can get on the, FlexMLS, and it'll even like you click on it, and it'll tell you, explain exactly what it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or they have recordings. I did a
Oh.
recording, because I had to write my first one up, for a buyer, and I was lost. I was lost. I mean, because it was